Colorado's good. Colorado's team is good. I'd say Texas went in there and they won that game. I wouldn't say Bama just lost. Brock Purdy is legit. He's legit. Plain and simple. Oklahoma is legit, folks. Boomer Sooner. They might be here to stack. The Chargers, right? They got all the pieces, but they're not moving the right ways. I don't know. They have all those big names, and they can't stop a Park. He looked like dog shit out there yesterday. He's the reason we lost our coins. Josh Allen's trying to do too much. He got too cute. He really did. He got too cute. It is Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Guys, why were we acting this offseason like they were just going to be good after what we saw last year? What was going to change? All their receivers are hurt. Anyway, Russell Wilson's more worried about, what his next PR move is and, signing babies and shaking hands than he is, being a leader of his team. He doesn't even give out his phone number to his teammates. The guy's a bot.
Damn, brand new bag for bro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash because I'm trying to savor it.
What's going on, folks? Happy BTL Friday, the best BTL of the week, episode 319 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, presented by SeatGeek. If you guys are going to the games this weekend, I know you're trying to get outdoors and go see your squads. Make sure you use SeatGeek. They've got the best fees on there out of any of those different, reseller apps. And you can use promo code BOOKITS for $20 off your purchase. Okay, promo code BOOKITS. Go check out SeatGeek and chat. We've got a big time day today. I love BTL Fridays, extra long episodes. We're going to go over weekend plays for college football. We're going to talk a little NFL, Javon. We're going to craft up our second attempt at a Five Guys Prize Picks entry for the weekend and a Hail Mary parlay for the people. And I know one of these are eventually going to smack, Javon. We just got to stay patient and poised. And of course, we'll go over baseball today as well. Javon, we got to give the people another winner after a nice squad ride W last night. Let's freaking go.
That could be the momentum we need to have going into the weekend.
Could be the difference. People are talking. People are saying, chat, we might have our swagger back. Big time squad ride win yesterday. Atlanta poured it on Jake Irvin. Hopefully we don't see that same thing today against Patty C, but we probably will. Let's not kid ourselves. All right. Let's do a W recap. Let's go check out the squad rides and the best bets from yesterday. Atlanta Braves team total over 5.5 guys. That's exactly what the doctor ordered when we were in a little bit of a slump here. So got the squad ride dubs. Hope you guys cashed. Hope you guys have not given up hope on that yet, because we're still almost 40 games over 500s. And that's the best play out there on the market that you can tail every day responsibly. Javon, not the best day on best bets, but we move. A couple player props, a couple prize pick squares, bit you in the butt. But great call there on the team total. The squad ride was all that matters. And then shout out Georgia State as well. I mean, they played unbelievable.
Legacies. Coast Carolina might just be bad.
Yeah, Coastal might not be that guy. They might not be that guy, pal. But Georgia State also showed up. You got to give credit where credit's due, and Granger played pretty darn well. We smacked a couple squares as well, some prize pick squares in that game. Elite performance from Georgia State and the Panthers there, winning a big-time game on the road. Love it. Revenge narrative for Granger, who has a baby in Myrtle, I think, or by Coastal. Big-time revenge win there against a school that I'm sure he doesn't really like very much. They play every year. All right, chat. Let's talk about this game last night. How about Christian McCaffrey being an absolute stud? This guy has scored, Javon, correct me if I'm wrong, but he scored in every single game since San Francisco's brought him over. He scored 12 straight touchdowns in 12 straight games. This guy is a beast. If you took him for $100 in that first game and you rolled it over every single game for those 12, you would be rich. But who the heck is doing that? Just a cool trend to pull out there. Christian McCaffrey, Javon, is he the best running back in the league? Is he one of the best offensive players in the league besides Mahomes?
I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife. Like that guy, even when everybody thinks they're resting him on a short week for no absolute reason, he comes out and plays ridiculous against really anybody. But I mean, especially against the Giants last night. So, I mean, he is probably one of the most versatile players in the league. And when he gets downhill, that's a scary sight.
Yep. Bro runs angry. Macy's saying in chat, could not agree more. He was running like he had something on his mind. He was trying to get some anger out there. And that guy's an absolute stud. I don't know why people thought that just because it was a short week, they weren't going to play their best player on offense when they needed him to win that game. That was dumb. Anyone who knows Shanahan or the 49ers knows that he runs his players into the ground. And he has really no concerns for resting them. And I don't think CMC wants to take a seat on the bench either. So that was not a great angle. Good to see McCaffrey still thriving. He is so fun to watch.
It's awesome.
Absolute stud. Yep. I wish the Giants could have covered. But chat, hope you guys cashed on that Daniel Jones more than completions. That was Sharp's attack. DJ completions. I think he had 22. That was free. And we also had Trent Williams throwing punches last night, Javon. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing it. It is what it is. I mean, literally a big old smack right in the face mask that he may or may not have gotten away with. But that's my guy. And you don't mess with Trent Williams. Okay, he does what he wants to do. I think he's the only guy that can get away with that shit. Why would you poke the bear? Why are you poking Trent Williams? If he comes in and he hits you in the mask, you probably walk right away though and go about your day. You're not fighting back. You kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, like, if there's probably one guy you don't want to piss off in the league, it's probably Trent Williams. That is the last guy I would piss off. Like,
God, I miss him so much. He was such a beast, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Hall of Fame tackle. He's going to be the best left tackle maybe ever in the history of the sport.
Certainly could be.
Niners are mid, people are saying in chats. Give me your thoughts on that game last night, folks. Besides Darren Waller not showing up and, having no fingers on his hands. The Giants looked okay. I think they hung in there a little bit, but was sad to see Coach Dable put Tyrod in there towards the end. They kind of gave up. Hate to see that as an underdog better. You don't want to see teams, throwing the towel like that. Why would they call their timeouts to drive before as well if they're just going to put the backups in when they get the rock? I don't know. That whole thing was weird. I
understand that.
But they were out of the game anyways. And Debo is also like that. Another good point, too.
100%. I mean, regardless of how bad the Giants looked, I mean, the Niners can just flip the switch to one of their 55 weapons at any point, regardless of how well Brock Purdy is playing or not. And it's just like, who's stopping them?
Who's going to stop them?
Yeah.
I'm with you. Javon, let's move and let's groove. We've got a ton to talk about today. We got a sub bang from Devin, giving out a sub to the community. We had so many sub bangies yesterday. We're already coming in with some today. That's what I'm talking about, folks. And I'm hearing some people saying, why is this not on YouTube right now? Can you guys try and go check it out and refresh it? It should be up. It says we're live on YouTube. So Somebody confirm with me on that if you can be a superhero. But Javon, I think we move and groove into a little college football weekend preview for the people.
Let's do it.
Sure. Before we hop in and go over, Snooze Fest, Mikey over, Blowout, Upset Alert, and Meat on Tape, P of the D for the weekend, Javon, can we gas up the Pac-12 real quick? I saw this on the TV last night. I had to snag a pick. The Pac-12, it really sucks for sports bettors, for college football fans, that this conference is kind of dissolving and some of these great teams are going to be leaving, heading out the door. It hasn't really hit me yet. It hasn't hit any of us yet because we still get pretty good late night games. But guys, this conference is so stacked. They have some of the best quarterbacks in the country. Javon, is this the best Pac-12 you've ever seen? And how hilarious is it that they're about to disband pretty much after the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And like they're going to beat up on each other come a couple weeks, so it won't seem as good as it is right now. But these teams, this is the most entertaining Pac-12 I've seen in quite some time. And usually you don't have this much parity. It's a couple of the teams at the top that are battling it out, like in the prime, Oregon Mariota years is usually a team up there battling with them. Now we have, I mean, 3 to 4 solid contenders, depending on like the health of Cam Rising down the line for the Pac-12 championship, and a lot of teams below them that are very, very good. It's like this is one of the more entertaining races you're going to see. And you have with USC and Washington, 2 potential Heisman candidates, despite, forget how the season goes the rest of the year. These are 2 of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterbacks in the country that battling out too. So it's going to be awesome.
I'm stoked. This conference is stacked. We've got so many good games left between some of these teams for the rest of the season, including a big-time game between Oregon and Colorado that I promise you guys we're going to talk about. Okay? What kind of show would this be if we weren't talking about that game? Let's keep moving and grooving here, Javon. Might as well hop right into the snooze fests. Let's get the unders over with. All right? We both got a play we like this weekend in college football that's going under the total. Okay? I'll get it started out with my Hokies playing Marshall, and we're not going to talk about the Hokies getting 4.5 points in the spot against a group of 5 school like Marshall. That's absolutely embarrassing and unacceptable for a team and a program like Virginia Tech. But we're here, and it's probably not going to be Grant Wells' revenge game in this spot, Javon. I think it's going to be Drones getting the start at QB. I think Grant Wells is either still hurt or he's just gone. And Kyron is atrocious, the transfer from Baylor, like you were telling me about in the offseason. You were right. There's a reason he transferred from Baylor. It's because he's not that guy. He can't even throw the football, okay? Marshall's defense is going to be good enough. They're going to absolutely shut down the Hokies' offense, which any team could do. And then Marshall, they're going to run the living heck out of the ball with their stud running back. And Javon, he might have some success, and I do think Marshall probably will cover this game. And the Hokies' rush defense is not great, trust me. But I do think the Hokies will show up here in this spot and at least hold the Marshall offense below 30 points in this game. And I really don't think the Hokies are going to score more than 2 touchdowns in this spot. So Marshall will be running the ball the whole time. The clock will be ticking. Rasheen Ali is going to be an absolute dog and probably run us all over. But the Hokies defense will step up and do just enough where this guy's not going to have 400 yards in this game. But the game's going to go under because the Hokies aren't going to score more than 14. There's no chance. 0.
Yeah,
they might not score a touchdown this whole game. It might just be a field goal fest for the Hokies. Give me the
Yeah, I like it. Rasheen Ali is going to have a day. I guess we're both kind of fading our schools here with the totals.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking the under in the TCU game. I think SMU is live in this game, and I think their defense is really good. That's kind of the thing that people haven't seen in years past with SMU's defense. They got a lot of transfers, a lot of Power 5 transfers, especially with this defense. They really haven't had the chance to prove it yet going up against a lot of inferior competition. But the one game they did look really good in was against Oklahoma, who, I mean, I still think Oklahoma is one of the more explosive offenses, if not up there with the couple of the top ones in the league or in college football. And they shut them down for a majority, at least of the first half, before they started getting rolling in the second half. And I really don't think Chandler Morris in this offense is going to be able to torch SMU. And, like this TCU offense has done in years past, especially last year. So I think it's going to be a little slower. I think if you're going to see TCU moving the ball, it's going to be with Amani Bailey on the ground, not so much through the air, because that secondary for SMU, again, I think is much improved, and we've seen that early on this season. So I do think SMU is going to stay in this game through the air attack, but TCU is going to kind of try to slow it down because that's the only way I think they'll find any success.
Okay. I'm with you. And it looks like the SMU stud RB might be out of this game anyways, Javon, which would be huge for the under.
I mean, I don't think it matters though, because I mean, SMU's they're not going to run the ball. Okay. They're really not. It's just going to be all through the air, which is of course the concern taking the under. But again, with TCU, they're going to let a lot underneath, which honestly they might just play like deep cloud coverage and let them cook underneath, just so they can stay close in the game.
So Manders prevent defense.
Pretty much, yeah. Raiders defense and somebody else I'll be talking about later is probably going to do the same thing.
Okay. W's chat. We got 2 unders this weekend. Let's get the snooze fests out of the way. VT Marshall under 41 and SMU TCU under 63. That's a lot of points. You got some cojones taking that under.
Yeah, it's all right.
So crazy. It just might work.
Just might.
W's. And by the way, I like the play. Obviously, yeah. I actually almost took that myself. But let's move on to the Mikey overs of the weekend, folks. 2 games. We're expecting some shootouts, plenty of offense in these spots. I'm going to go with UTSA and Tennessee. I don't know if Frank Harris is going to play. I watched the post-game pressers from the coach after their last game, and he said it's either going to be the backup kid who stunk or it's going to be Frank Harris this week. They haven't decided yet, but that was right after the game last weekend. I would be shocked if Frank Harris in his last college season doesn't find a way to get out there on the field. And at the end of the day, it is his call. It was his call last weekend. He said he couldn't give it a go. I would not be shocked with that total on the rise, Javon, that spread not moving too much from the opener if we see Frank Harris out there. I would not be shocked one bit. Either way, Tennessee's coming off that brutal loss where their offense absolutely shit the beds. I think they might put up a 60-piece themselves in this spot against a UTSA defense that I was gassing up early in the year, but I've watched them play now 3 games, and they stink. They are atrocious. They are bad. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking or what I was reading before the season, but now that I put some eyeballs on watching their film, they are terrible. Straight up. So Tennessee in a bounce-back spot at home, they're going to put up a 50-piece themselves. UTSA, looking at that total, I think Frank Harris might be out there. And if that's the case, there might be 100 points in this game.
Could be, yeah. I could see a massive bounce-back spot for the offense after what they did against Florida. So I would 100% be down there. I went the Louisville BC over, which I think from a defensive perspective, this is a pretty big letdown spot for a unit who hasn't really impressed me this season, which I didn't think that BC's defense would be the issue coming into the season. It was the offense. And honestly, since they brought Thomas Castellanos, which is basically little Kyler Murray with a little less arm talent, and they've kind of gotten a spark in that offense. Like, I believe in Thomas Castellanos. It is a little bit of a tough spot coming in as his first road start, but it's against a defense and really a team in general who, like, they haven't put 2 halves together all season. Talking about like the Georgia Tech first half to open the season where a lot of people were on them. They got blitzed. They looked like shit, came back in the second half and blitzed them offensively. Even last week, Jack Plummer and the guys looked great in the first half. Then they laid an egg in the second half against Indiana. Boston College, honestly, has kind of done the same thing. So this is going to be a game of runs, but I don't trust either defense in this game. So I think they can put together, good offensive performance for 4 quarters, especially like Louisville. I think they're pretty balanced attack. I think they're going to run the ball a little more than we're kind of used to seeing from that offense earlier in the season. And that's not very good for Boston College. So honestly, I think Boston College kind of meemaws in the back door of this game, but it's not going to be with their defense. It's going to be with their offense.
Quick update on your win total?
No, because I really like Thomas Castellanos in the offense, which is kind of if you told me that the defense was going to be a big question mark and Castellanos was going to be electric leading that offense, I would 100% have taken it 10 times out of 10. My concern was the defense and them being able to consistently score. So when they go up against teams like a UVA, like a UConn, like an Army, which are all still left on the schedule, the fact that the offense is kind of the strength now is giving me a lot of hope, honestly. I'm pretty excited.
Okay. W's, maybe they'll pull out some crazy fluke shit this weekend. Probably not. Maybe the over is just a better look in this game. Should be plenty of points between Louisville and Boston College, and UTSA and Tennessee as well. 2 overs for the people. We got a Ron Mux Clam sub bang, death, taxes, and Ron Mux Clam giving out a sub to the community every single day.
Ron.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there. Ron, you're a stud. You're my dude.
Ron is.
Let me know what you're on today.
Ron just might be like the heart and soul of the chat, the community right here. He really is. Goat.
He's the glue guy. He's the Justin Mux.
He is the glue guy. There we go.
Of this stream. He really is.
Justin
I don't know if you saw this, man. Yeah, isn't that a crazy name drop?
That's a crazy take.
God, I miss Justin Mutz. What a stud. Javon, I don't know if you saw this, man, but the Louisville football team, they were out driving around. I don't know what they were doing, but they saw a car overturned. and they pushed it over themselves to get this lady out of the car because she was stuck in there. They literally pulled over, saw the accident, instead of just going about their day and ignoring it because, typically football players have everything, all the clout in their heads, and they're probably not thinking about helping other people. The Louisville Cardinals stopped, and they helped out a local and flipped over a car, which might be the most impressive thing out of the whole thing, Javon. They flipped over a big-ass car themselves. This is the kind of team you want to be backing it over on. They're linemen.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they might dominate the trenches, man. Car flip system play.
This could be a car flip, win in the trenches, system POD, folks.
This
could be the over. You're telling me that O-line's not holding strong? Those guys got tree trunks for legs. They flipped the fucking car over.
Yeah, they might drop 40 down.
God. And you got the straggler on the left. If you're watching the car, he runs in at the ends when they're about to flip it, trying to help. That's like the dude in your group project. He doesn't do anything, and then he shows up for the presentation.
Probably went and celebrated after with everybody. He's like, yeah, we flipped over this car.
That guy didn't flip shit. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm going to call that guy on the left sector. He didn't flip shit. All right, let's move. System play, win in the trenches, flip car, POD, the over in Louisville this weekend. All right.
There we go.
All jokes aside, let's keep moving and grooving. Javon, we got a couple more segments to go to. Let's talk about some blowouts for the weekend. Two teams we think are going to win big. I'm going with Ohio State and the Buckeyes here, Javon. This line is weird. Notre Dame is extremely public. They're getting a ton of bets in handle. Not really surprised. And that line is kind of holding pat since it's moved to 3 a couple of days ago. Props.cash tweet here. This tells me Sam Hartman might get strapped up a little bit by this Ohio State defense, which is the highest-ranked, best-ranked defense in college football, with an asterisk because they've played DoorDash drivers and Uber Eats workers in their first 3 games, but that's not their fault. I mean, they got to go out there and play the games, and they have been dominant on the defensive side of the ball. I've been impressed with Marvin Harrison and that offense. I know they're still working out that new QB, but I think Ohio State goes in there with them laying -3 and being an extremely non-public favorite on the road here in this spot against a public darling Notre Dame at home, who looks great this season with their new stud QB, Sam Hartman, great running back, and a pretty damn good D-line. I'm going to be fading the Irish this weekend. I hate to do it because I'm low-key a closet fan, but it's got to be the Buckeyes on the road with that line holding pat in this spot.
Yeah, I like it as much as it pains me to say, and I'm sure it pains you to say too.
Yeah,
it's looking tough for them, but they just got to win. I mean, they really only have to win one of the big 3 games for me to feel good about it, but I honestly think they can win the other 2. So I'm good on that. I don't know if they win this one.
Yeah, I don't know either, man.
Yeah, I went with Utah at home against UCLA, which the line's up to 6 now, which it was sitting at 4.5 for a while. So I would assume that has to do with a little Cam Rising coming back.
No way.
It seemed like this was the target game, start of Pac-12 play anyway, like before the season. They just wouldn't come out and say it. So with the line starting to move up, I'm pretty sure it is. But regardless, honestly, I don't care because I don't think UCLA is very good. I haven't seen enough out of the offense. I haven't seen enough off of Dante Moore. Honestly, like the rushing attack, except for like a game against NC Central, it hasn't really looked all that dynamic. So like I haven't seen enough from that offense to believe, Cam Rising or not, that they're going to move against that defense. I think it's going to be tough sledding for them. I mean, in a game, they dropped, 27 points on Coastal Carolina, which we saw what Georgia State did to them last night. That was to open the season. They let SDSU, does have a good defense, I'll give them that, hang in with them for a while. It's just Utah in Rice-Eccles, I don't think UCLA is going to be able to keep this one close, especially if Cam Rising comes back and you see a really balanced attack from the offense. So I think it's going to be a defensive masterclass from Utah, and UCLA is going to start to show their true colors.
That's a tough place to play, man. I don't care if UCLA is not too far away out there in Cali. That is a tough atmosphere to go play an away game at, plain and simple. And I'm surprised to hear you buying in on Cam Rising coming back and you're taking him in this spot, but there's been a lot of UCLA gas as well, so I don't hate the play. This is probably why I'm staying off personally, though.
Yeah, it's not me. The only reason I'm comfortable doing it is because I would take it if this line was 6 without Cam Rising.
Yeah,
I just don't think UCLA – yeah, it's more UCLA's offense against Utah's defense on the road for me than it is, Cam Rising's back. This team is magically going to be incredible now. So that's why I'm cool doing it.
Okay. W's, chat, 2 blowout favorites of the weekend, the Buckeyes and the Utes. as we get a Young Q sub bang for the community. That's my guy, Young Q. Hope you're doing well, Beast. Put the cash in your bets. Let me know what you're on today, my man. Let's keep moving and grooving. Let's go to upset alert, Javon. 2 teams we think are going to pull off a little Cinderella story this weekend and not only cover, but maybe win. And Javon, you got some cojones taking a plus 15, but I'll get it kicked off here with Clemson, a team that owns Florida State in their past, a team that has been dominant at home over the last decade or so. It's been almost 9 years since Florida State last beat Clemson. Could that losing streak end? That's a very popular public narrative, even with a banged up Jordan Travis here and them coming in on the roads. But Javon, that spread keeps coming down, man. It's down to 2 now with how bad Clemson's looked this entire season. Everybody's off Clemson. Everyone's off Kate Klubnik. They've forgotten about how dynamic that kid can be at times. They don't care. They think Clemson's out, and they're all in on Florida State. Well, I'll tell you what. That is a tough place to play. Might be the only better intro than Lane Stadium, Enter Sandman, down there at Clemson when they're running out. That place is electric. That is a brutal atmosphere for a Seminoles team who's been doing their jobs. But with Jordan Travis getting banged up in the last game, I really think this is a tough spot for them to come in and win on the roads, fade the trendy new toy, and back the Clemson Tigers, who are underdogs for the first time at home in 7 years. Crazy.
Yeah, that is kind of wild. I think this one's going to be a tight little slugfest where Clemson's defense is going to be Clemson's defense, and we'll see who comes out on top. I definitely lean their way with you.
Okay.
But yeah, with mine, I went Baylor. So, I mean, it's a 14 and a half maybe now point spread. So, I mean, temper your money line expectations, but I really like them just as a play on the spread for the most part.
Yeah.
But going up against Texas, I mean, talk about a really weird spot. Texas is coming off of a game against Wyoming where they really didn't look good for 3/4 of that game. I always kind of preach with Quinn Ewers, like when he can be comfortable in the pocket and not touched, he is going to be the Quinn Ewers that we've kind of seen or expected, at least, like against Alabama in both seasons this year and last year. He can be a really good quarterback. We're going to see the talent, but he was pressured a lot against Wyoming, so he didn't look all that good. And the success of this Texas team is really it's backboned by Quinn Ewers. So against a really tough Baylor defense, they've kind of been exposed a little bit this year, especially in the run game, which the run game is not going to be the way that Texas's offense is going to dominate this game. So, like, I 100% believe in everything they have going on in the backfield with Brooks and a couple of the guys that are there, but they need Quinn Ewers' arms to win this game. And the one thing that Baylor can do well is pressure Quinn Ewers and pack him up in the secondary. So it's going to be one of those games where I think for Texas to really dominate, they'd have to be taken out of their element a little bit. And going on the road here in Baylor, which is always a really weird game, not just for them, but a lot of teams. And this is a team that Baylor really hates, and they're going in for the last time into their place in Waco and McLean Stadium. This just has all the makings of like a super close, almost upset game, kind of similar to like the Utah game where really Baylor should have won that game, but they choked at the end. I think you're going to see a one-possession game at the least here.
I'm so in on the Baylor Bears and fading Texas after that monumental win. I'm in. Say no more. Give me the points with the Baylor Bears, a program and organization that everyone is so out on. We know their QB got hurt in week 1. I don't give a shit. They're at home. This is the last time they're playing them. Give me the points.
Yeah.
W's. Where does the nickname come from? I just think STI when I hear Krabs, TBH. I don't blame you. And that's something I had to deal with a lot when I got the nickname in college, folks. The name is not new. My buddies started calling me Mr. Krabs in college because my face gets super red all the time. I have a very quick temper. I like to get angry and riled up a little bit. And I'm from Maryland, which is the king of the crabs. Obviously, Chesapeake Blue Crabs, the GOAT. If you haven't had those in your life, grow up, and you need to. But yeah, my friends started calling me Mr. Krabs. I've always loved money, and obviously grew up watching SpongeBob. So when I get a red-ass face and I'd be chirping my roommates for talking to me too much or bugging me, they call me Mr. Krabs, and that's how it stuck. All right, now it's just Krabs. We dropped the Mr., but luckily, no STI talk, and that was always a tough combo starter in college when I was trying to make some friends. Okay, let's move, let's groove, folks. That's the origination story of the name Krabs. Sure. Let's move, Javon. Let's groove. We got meat on tape plays of the weekend for college football. Our favorite bets of the weekend in college. Javon, I'm going to get it started off. Shocker. Give me the Ducks. Give me Bo Nix. I'm fading Colorado. This is a fat spread against Deion Sanders and a Colorado team that has been very, very impressive so far this season. But they have not won all 3 of those games. They've won 1 of them, and they've been given a gift in the other 2 with 2 wins. But you know what, chat? A win's a win, and I'm not up here complaining about the total. I know that was maybe the worst bet of all time, but I will tell you that seeing Colorado as a 21-point underdog in this spot, with them being the most public team in the history of probably college football betting, they've got to have the most bets in handle of all time every single week as more and more people continue to bet on them. And there's more action now than there ever has been. So they're the most public play ever in the history of college football this weekend, once again. And the Ducks and Bo Nix are a team and an offense, Javon, that I 1,000% believe in. I've been so impressed with Bo Nix and this Oregon offense this year. I think they absolutely roll Colorado. And I think Colorado's defense is going to look like it did against TCU in week 1 when they were just moving down the field with Chandler and absolutely slicing and dicing that overrated Colorado defense. Unfortunately, no Travis Hunter for the Buffs this week, which is brutal. I hope that kid recovers, and I'm rooting for him. He's a stud, but that's a huge loss. Huge loss. That's their best player on both sides of the ball. That's their skill player on offense, and that's their anchor in the secondary, and now they're without him. So give me Bo Nix to absolutely carve up this overrated as shit Colorado team and defense and put up a 50 burger on them. If Colorado can keep up and put up a 28 piece, I'll charge it to the game. But I don't think they're going to be able to do it as people continue to pile on this organization and hop on the bandwagon. It's only going to get tougher for these kids to stay locked in with all the NIL coming in and all the distractions. They're only human. They're only human. Okay? Yeah. Give me Oregon to win this game big and catch Colorado sleeping, coming in on their high horse thinking they could beat anybody. Well, they're about to get taught a lesson that when they play a legitimate, real football team this season for the first time, they're about to get their shit rocked. And this game's not even going to be close. It's going to get ugly. You're going to be turning this one off in the third quarter because Oregon and Bo Nix are going to be running up the score so bad, you're not even going to want to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what Nicolosi, the CSU quarterback, and I mean Chandler Morris, who he should have to pay for school, did against this Colorado defense. Bo Nix, Bucky Irving, Troy Franklin, good luck. So, I mean, yeah, there's going to be points scored by Oregon.
Points.
I went with Cal this week, which they have a pretty good, I guess, 1-0 beat on table record so far, at least ATS.
Sure.
And 20.5 has started to be one of my favorite big dog numbers to bet early in this college football season. I mean, off the top of my head, I can think of a couple, especially like Sam Houston State. I believe that was week 1 against BYU on the road. But there's a thing with Cal. They know how to play Washington. Justin Wilcox is the head coach and a very big defensive guy, knows how to play Washington. There's a reason why this game hasn't been more than a one-possession game in 5 years. Even going back to last year where I talked about this a little bit already, they held Washington without a touchdown for the entire first half, which even last year, like I think Washington's offense is even better and more fine-tuned and refined, and Michael Penix might be even better. The weapons might be even better this year. But they did something schematically defensively, which really stood out to me. They took away the middle of the field, which if you watch Washington this year, that's a lot of what they want to do with Roma Dunzy, Jalen McMillan, even in the run game too. They want to utilize the middle of the field. And the Cal defense, first they took away the top, but they also took away the middle of the field because they have a really good linebacking core. They forced everything to the sidelines. And Michael Penix is able to use that because he can do anything on the football field. But if you want to slow down this offense, this is exactly what you want to do. So I think regardless – first of all, I think there's a little mismatch in the trenches there for California, at least in the run game. That's the way they're going to stay in this game. They're going to milk a lot of clock. They're going to force Washington on offense to take a lot of short yardage passes, a little bit to the sideline, and kind of dink and dunk their way down the field. So it's going to be a little slower of an attack that we're used to seeing from Washington. It's not going to be as explosive. So I think Cal stays in this game. There's also a reason why this under has moved down more than a field goal at this point. I honestly like that too. I think it's just going to be a game where Cal sneaks in, and you see, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is also a one-possession game like we've seen for the last 4 years. And I don't think they win, but I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yep. Some of these teams just have their others' numbers, and maybe Cal has something schematically against their opponent this weekend. I don't know, but they seem to always play pretty damn well against the Huskies. Let's hope they could do it one more time.
Yeah, I mean, the defense is sneaky good. I mean, we talk about all the shit defenses that are in the Pac-12. We got a lot of good offenses. Cal's defense is kind of good, especially like if you want to beat a team that is ridiculously more athletic than you and going to just cross the field with a lot of receivers that are going to beat man coverage. you got to have a really good linebacking core. That's exactly what they have. They're one of the better ones in the Pac-12. So
Damn.
The only thing that's been holding them back so far this season, I guess, especially in the Auburn game, was offensive play calling. So this is going to be a close game.
Okay. Chat, our 2 favorite college football plays of the weekend. Meat on tape, if you will. Oregon minus 21. They're going to absolutely smack Colorado down this weekend. And Cal plus 20.5. They're going to keep that one within a touchdown against the opponents in Washington, who they always play well. W's. Good question here from Drock in chat. D-Rock, some might call him. Krabs, what happens if Colorado wins? Not saying it's going to happen, but curious what your tone will be. If Colorado wins, I will buy a Deion Sanders jersey, Colorado Deion Sanders jersey, customized. If I have to pay for it, I will. And I will hang it up behind me for an entire week. I'll hang it up behind me until they lose on every stream. That's how confident I am that they're not going to win this game. Not a hot take. Oregon's minus 1,000. Not saying that I'm Megamind, but I am saying that I'll put my money where my mouth is, and that's how confident I am. I will put a Coach Sanders or Shador jersey behind me until they lose a game. I'll buy it. If I got to customize it, I don't give a shit. I'll be in so much piss, I'll buy it in a second. I don't give a shit. All right, let's move. Let's groove. All right, yeah, somebody clip that. Hold me accountable. You guys know I always pay my debts, and I always get you guys right. No scams in here. Okay, folks. Let's keep moving and grooving. Javon, a couple honorable mentions, a couple bets that I just wanted to mention real quick that I love on Saturday, and feel free to add on a couple. But I really like the Spartans plus 7.5 against the Terps. A huge buy low spot for the Spartans with no coach. And I know they've looked atrocious, but they're at home against the Terps, and I'm selling high on them, who come into this game 3-0. I want to fade Maryland here, who's looked a little too good, and I do believe that offense and team, but traveling to Michigan State, that's a tough spot. Give me the 7.5 points there, Javon. I really like Georgia Tech against an overrated Wake Forest team that barely pulled out a win last week. I really like Middle Tennessee State, MTSU, -3 against Colorado State. I thought that's a pretty crazy line with a pretty average Middle Tennessee State team. After Colorado State hung in there with Colorado last week, you're going to see the public hopping on Colorado State. I think their season's done, though. Stick a fork in it. They're through. Last week was their Super Bowl. They're going to keel over and die, and the spread shows that accordingly with them being an underdog. Give me Middle Tennessee State. And then I also love Memphis plus 6.5 this weekend against Missouri, who just kicked a 61-yard field goal. This Memphis team is legit, folks. They are quick. Their offense is elite, and they catch Mizzou sleeping at home after a big-time win when they're fat, happy, and complacent, looking good so far this season. Fade them. Give me the points with Memphis on the road.
Yeah, if you're going to give me 2 honorable mentions, I'll go straight to the Big 12. Iowa State -3.5 against Oklahoma State. I don't know how they score. I mean, we saw a pretty embarrassing performance last week. That was kind of who they were. I didn't expect it to be that bad, but they have 3 quarterbacks. They got to pick one. And now they're going up against, by far, the toughest defense they've faced. I mean, they just let South Alabama hold them to a touchdown at home. Iowa State might not let them get in the end zone at all. So it's going to be that type of game. Super gross, like 21-10, something like that for Iowa State there. Then also in the Big 12, one that kind of scares me. This is one of the games early in the season, pre-Texas game, that I was scared of. Oklahoma, Cincinnati. Like Cincinnati plus 14.5 there. I think it's
even with the line move.
Even with the line move, this is going to be one of their tougher matchups, I guess, scheme-wise. Like Cincinnati is going to run the football, and they're going to drain a lot of clock as well if they're efficient in doing that. So I think this is a scary spot. First Big 12 game at home against Oklahoma. I do think that Oklahoma, their defense overall is like pretty improved, especially in the secondary. But the run game, they haven't really had a chance to quite prove that they're strong against it just yet, because they played, Arkansas State. Two teams that are some of the worst teams in college football, and then SMU is not going to really run the ball. So that's the part that's unproven. So going into Cincinnati, I think they'll exploit that a little bit, and it's going to be a close game, especially a little early slate game. Could catch them sleeping. But, yeah, they'll creep in. They'll make it close.
W's. All right, Cincy with Oklahoma in a look-ahead spots. Maybe they catch them sleeping at home. Give me the 2 touchdowns. I'm in.
Yeah.
W's. Chats, we move. W segments going over our favorite plays for college football Saturday. We'll make sure to post these and get them out for the weekends. Obviously, the most important plays, meat on tape. Oregon -21, no bias in that one. And Cal plus 20.5. No bias in that one either for Javon.
Of course.
All right, let's move. Let's groove. Friday Night Lights. We got 4 games tonight, Javon. I like a couple of these, man. We could start with Wisconsin and Purdue. Javon, Wisconsin hasn't beaten Purdue in the last 16 times they've played them. Sorry, Purdue hasn't beaten Wisconsin the last 16 times they've played them. Wisconsin owns Purdue. They've beaten them 16 times in a row. I think that streak ends tonight. I love the way the spread's coming down in this game. I love the way it's moving. I love the way it's grooving. And I'm okay with this Purdue team, who honestly impressed me a little bit against my Hokies a couple of weeks ago. They're not as moose as I expected, and they do have an okay QB at the helm in this spot. And I do want to fade Mordecai, who I'm not impressed with one bit. I think he throws an interception today. I love that the spread's coming down. I think it came down from 6 to 4.5 in this game. 7 to 6, 5.5 maybe.
Yeah, 7 to 6, 5.5, one of the two.
Yep. Either way, yeah, I'm seeing some 5.5s and some 6.5 still up there. Either way, give me Purdue at home in this spot to end the streak and to finally beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to beat them, but I do think the game's going to be close. So I definitely lean on Purdue's side too. I mean, like Tanner Mordecai, it would be one thing for me if there was a competent quarterback, and I guess competence a little aggressive there, but a quarterback that's pretty comfortable in the offense going up against a Purdue defense that is absolutely horrendous. But I haven't seen that. And you can surely lean on Braylon Allen in the run game there, but they haven't done that enough to be effective yet. I mean, if you looked at not just the Wazoo game, but I mean, even last week against Georgia Southern, for a majority of that game, they were in moose shit. They were terrible in that game. So to see, usually I would come into this saying Purdue's defense is just going to get ravaged because they're going to be out-physicaled by a Wisconsin team that should do that. It's have branded football. I don't know if they do. I honestly like the air raid offense with Aiden O'Connell a little better. This Aiden O'Connell style offense that they're going to run with Hudson Card here to kind of touch up Wisconsin a little early. I think they come out and punch them in the mouth, and then it's them clawing back in this game, kind of how they did against Georgia Southern late, where they kind of imposed their will and win this game by a field goal.
Okay. Wisconsin pulls it out late. Maybe they get a dub, but Purdue covers this game. This is probably my favorite college football play of the day, at least with the lines you can get, folks. So bet Purdue on the spread responsibly. Don't take the ML unless you're trying to put a half U on it just to feel something. Take the points. All right, Purdue is not great. But I do like Hudson Card, and I like that Hudson Card more than 1.5 passing touchdowns on Prize Picks as well, B-Camp. I'm with you. That's a sketchy square. 100%.
They can't run the ball. So it's going to be –
they're going to have to pass. Yeah,
they're not going to come out and try to run the ball because they have no options.
100%. I'm with you guys. Love that angle. Let's keep moving and grooving here, Javon. We got 3 more games, NC State and UVA. Brennan Armstrong's return to Charlottesville. This should be a good one. You're already hearing some of the UVA DBs chirping a little bit, talking about Brennan Armstrong. Yeah, he's good, whatever. He can pretty much make any throw he wants. But we want to force him into throwing something because sometimes he can be a little pick heavy and make some bad decisions. The chirps are out from the Cavaliers, which is pretty hilarious because their program and their team is really not good, and their defense might be one of the worst in football. They're bad. But you know what, Javon? This game might mean a little bit more to them this weekend. They're honoring the fella who passed away in that crazy shooting last year. Prayers up for him and his family, Deshaun Perry. It was his birthday 2 days ago, Javon, and they've been hyping it up, and they're going to be playing this game for him and the other 2 gentlemen who were affected in that shooting. So Deshaun Perry, legacy game here. Prayers up for him and his fam. Hopefully the Cavaliers can come through here in this spot and cover within the number. And that spread is down to 8 most places, 7.5 too. So with Armstrong coming home, guys, if you know anything about college football or Armstrong, you know that the guy is an extreme pick machine. He is very turnover prone. He can make great throws, but the guy makes mistakes like it's his job, especially in big time spots. So if he's going back to Charlottesville, the school that he left, I'm willing to bet that he's not going to look as sharp tonight. I wanted to take him to throw a pick, but it's not up on Prize Picks because it's minus 140 to the over. So we won't be able to take that. But if you can take that on the books, lock it in, and go ahead and lock in the Cavaliers in this spot. They have a motivational edge for Deshaun Perry playing for him in this game. And NC State is so overrated, and they're still overvalued by the betting market, and that's why the spread's coming down.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of think Anthony Calandra is him. I like not just the fact that he's been obviously better for this team, this offense, but in this matchup where NC State, their problem defensively, they've had a tough matchup against Notre Dame because they run a 3-3-5, so Notre Dame just ran down their throat. But their problem for the entire season has been explosive plays. And what has Calandra brought to that offense that they were severely lacking prior to, his arrival in that offense? Explosive plays. So like I definitely lean UVA, but I also lean this over because I think those explosive plays are going to show their head early and often. And I mean, NC State on the ground especially is going to kind of enforce their will. So it won't have to be like a Brennan Armstrong, like backpack type game, I don't think. But I do like points from both sides. I think both these defenses, you're going to see a couple 50-yard plays, I think, in this game early and often. So I like points there. And I think the spread is going to come down to something very, very late in the game.
Huh. All right. I could get down with this, square over, I guess you could say. It is a little bit public, but the total is moving up, which is good. And UVA's defense is that bad. NC State and Brennan Armstrong should be able to put up some points in this matchup, even though he's going to have some turnovers that cost him the spreads. There should be points on both sides. So I'm with you. Maybe square it for Kitch and take that over. I'll be on UVA and the points. If you can get it at 8, make sure you guys always line shop. But I'm seeing mainly 7.5s right now. Either way, I think they'll keep it within that number. Just try to get that half at least. Be careful on that plus 7.
A fat move. 2 points.
Huge move.
A couple hours.
Huge move. I couldn't find any injury stuff. Maybe it's that emotional hedge. I don't know. But UVA is going to be coming out trying to win this game like it's the Super Bowl, as they should. As they should.
Ooh, that's a cheeky little bet. I like this. I don't know if I have that on my book, but I'm going to try and find that because I 100% think you see a 50, 60, maybe 70-yard touchdown in this game.
Yeah. 100%. That is a cheeky prop. It's so crazy. It just might work. Davey Martinez's burner.
Yeah.
Sure. And Davey Martinez's burner, feel free to tell Patrick Corbin to get 10 strikeouts today. Will you? W's. Virginia's 0-3, lol. C-Dub, I challenge you to bet every single team on the spread that has a better record than their opponent on Saturday, and I guarantee you that you will lose money. Guaranteed.
That's the truth.
Guaranteed. All right. Javon, anything else in this game?
No, nothing for me.
Okay. Let's keep moving and grooving. Boise State, San Diego State here, folks. San Diego State's defense has gotten a little bit better every week, Javon. I definitely lean that way, but I really don't want to take every single freaking dog this week. I just wouldn't mind fading this Boise State program, who I really do think has taken a bigger step back than the odds makers have shown respect for on their lines. Maybe that's why you're seeing a line come back down from -9.5 to -6.5 in the spots. And I'm not really in a rush to bet San Diego State and the Aztecs at home. But I will say I'm definitely not taking the Broncos, an organization and a program that I really do not believe in at all anymore, with a lot of their coaches moving on at this point, and Burmeister obviously gone too, or whatever that kid's name was.
Bachmeier.
What was his last name?
Bachmeier.
Burmeister was the old BTQ bait. But either way, although Bachmeier might not be good, I'm sure they're wishing they had him right now.
Yeah.
He does suck, but they probably take him back because whoever they have right now isn't better. And the Broncos are dead. I hate to say it. I lean San Diego State. They're a little bit too trendy for me, guys. They're very, very public for a dog. They got about 50% of bets in handle. It seems like the public are catching on to Boise State being a little fraudulent, but I still lean that way. I'll probably just be off it, though, because I think it might be a little fake shot.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, in this game that's on the screen, obviously an unfortunate outcome for the squad ride. And a little bit was on DJ's back, just being pretty incompetent. But honestly, the defense, I mean, San Diego State, we knew they were pretty good coming into the game. Didn't think it would be enough, especially in the trenches against Oregon State. But they did it, and they impressed me. So, like, if I'm taking anything in this game, I'm probably taking the under because I'm not certain on a side or total or a side on either side there. But I do think your defense kind of kick their heels in and make life for Boise State pretty tough on offense. And I mean, as good as the defense is, that offense and Jalen Maiden, as much as I want to love the guy, he's not been very good.
You are 100% right. He is not. Give me the under. San Diego State, they might cover too, though. Lean that way. All right. Yeah. Let's talk about the last game of the night, Air Force and San Jose State. Javon, man, San Jose State was a program that I wanted to buy into a little bit in the beginning of the season. I was rooting for them. They got Chevin Cordero, who's a veteran QB. He's been an absolute stud in college football for the last 4 years-ish. The dude's a seasoned vet, but he really hasn't had a legacy game yet, Javon. He really hasn't showed up yet, and I do think it could be today. But that line moving from -2 to -4 to -6 to -4 to -6 and moving and grooving around, it's sketching me out. And I think I'm probably off this game. And Air Force is also very, very physical. And this new QB they've been using this year, Zach Larrier, he's pretty dang good. He is so fast. He's a track and field guy. He's winning gold medals for the Air Force team. The dude is so electric and fast, and this Air Force team and defense is very physical. And every season, I feel like they're underrated. Now they are 3-0, though, so maybe them being -6 is a little bit of an overreaction, but watch this kid absolutely rip. He is so freaking fast, dude, and I really don't want to fade this kid who's been balling out this season so far for Air Force, and they're 3-0. Now, I lean San Jose State. I do think Chevin Cordero has a pretty damn good game today, and maybe we see his best game of the season so far, but he has not impressed me enough for me to bet on the dog at home in this spot.
Yeah, kind of. I wouldn't say in the same spot because I definitely lean Air Force in this game. But, I mean, it makes it difficult to read. San Jose State, they're, I would say, the dog that I've seen most in scrolling through Twitter earlier this morning. And it's partially because, I mean, their offense looked decent, I guess you could say, against their pretty tough schedule, especially like USC. I mean, they hung in there for a while, scored points on them. Looked like they were making that game kind of interesting, at least early for a little bit with their offense. So, I mean, maybe that's why the public loves them. I really don't know. It also seems the Sharps kind of pump fake there. A lot of them laid San Jose State early, and now they're getting steamed hard the other way. So maybe trying to get a little better number on Air Force here. But I do like them to control both sides of the ball here, and especially I don't know how San Jose State's front seven is going to hold up. Again, it's kind of hard to read because they've been getting dominated in the run game, and a couple of those have been against significantly better teams that are going to do that anyway. But they have been straight pitiful against the run. So against triple option, I don't know how they hold up. Air Force's passing attack with the quarterback as well. They're not passing 30 times a game like an air raid offense necessarily, but they have been extremely efficient when they do pass the ball. So that's a little bit of balance that you're not used to seeing from Air Force. So I do think they tack it on to San Jose State today. I don't think it's going to be any in between. I think it's going to be pretty reminiscent of Utah State last week, or they lose outright. And I definitely am not thinking they lose outright.
Okay. W's. Maybe Air Force could be a little ML piece if you're looking to send a little two-teamer dreamer, maybe. I don't know what we can parlay it with. We can keep our options open as we go through the slate today, but wouldn't mind squaring up and taking them on the ML with another team in a little greasy two-piece.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
W's. Maybe the Tigers. Ooh, and we'll get to baseball soon, folks. All right.
Yeah,
Javon, any other plays, any prize pick squares in any of these college football games today?
Not in these games. I haven't really had time to dive into the PP board for the Friday night games yet. Might have to do that in a little bit, but
all goods. All goods. We'll move. You want to do some MLB talk for today?
We can do a little bit of MLB.
Let's do it. We'll run it, and then we'll obviously finish off with the Five Guys prize picks entry for the weekend, the Hail Mary parlay for the weekend, BTL squad ride for today, and college football squad ride tomorrow. But the people need baseball winners for today, Javon. People forget there's baseball on for the next month or two. Still, don't give up on it.
There is, yeah. We got a final day of the regular season on Sunday, next Sunday, not in 2 days Sunday, but next Sunday. So it's gonna be fun, especially we've been riding the Reds for a while now, so I'm pretty sure everybody in here is pretty tapped in. But if you're not tapped into the wild card race, especially in the NL, you better tap in because that's gonna be probably one of the craziest wild card races that I've ever seen coming down to this last week.
And let's talk about that a little more when we get to the Padres because I got a tweet I want to show. Let me get to that.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we can start with this team who has made the wild card ridiculously more interesting by playing as terribly as they are. The Cubs hosting the Rockies, which if you're laying -240 on the Cubs right now, I don't know what you're doing. Not that I love Noah Davis, but with Jameson Taillon against the mound, what is his issue? Hard hits, a lot of barrels, and what do the Rockies do well? One thing to do well, hit the ball hard. So, I think especially, at this price, the way the Cubs are playing, feels like they can get upset by anyone. So at this point in the season, that's kind of what you're doing. You should be taking stabs at bigger dogs in situations like this. So I'll take a half view on the Rockies ML. I think it's a solid play today. Noah Davis. I hate just continually fading teams, but when you have one that also makes baseball sense, it's kind of tough. Kind of tough to ignore it. So I wouldn't hate to see the Rockies kind of, for multiple reasons, take care of business today and the bats really show up.
W's and Baby King. We'll talk about the Tatis when we get to the Padres game, I promise. But Javon, I'm with you. The Cubs have lost 10 of their last 13. They still somehow have that final wild card spot, but that thing is getting sketch. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Jeesh.
Yeah.
A little half you guys are on the Rockies ML, Javon, plus 195.
Yeah. I mean, for this last week of the season especially, I would highly advise you to be doing that a lot more for teams that are not dead. And yeah, I don't mind the over two. I don't think Noah Davis is going to go out there and be Nolan Ryan or anything. I think it's going to be runs on both sides. The only way the Rockies are going to stay in this game is probably if we see a good amount of runs for both sides. So
yeah,
I don't mind the over there.
Agreed. And let me know if there's any prize pick squares for these games either, Javon, but just keep ripping through the games.
Yeah, I'll keep ripping. There's a couple games here that, I don't really want much to do with. I'm not laying minus 155 with Glass now. Both these teams need this game, so this team's playing for nothing compared to the other narrative. The Rays are still in the division race with the Orioles. Massive loss for the Orioles last night as well.
Yep.
And then the Blue Jays are desperately vying for that wild card spot. So I do think it's the Rays. I do think Glass now pitches pretty well. The Blue Jays have been pitiful against any righty that throws any sort of velocity for the last 3 months now, really. So Glass now, I'm down to back him a little bit, but I really don't want to back the Rays at minus 155 in a lower total game like this with Bassett, who randomly comes out. And for the most part, like against the Rays, there's no in between with his performances. He either has 7 shutout innings or he gives up 7 runs in less than 1 inning. So I'm kind of expecting him to finally find that little in-between point today. So I don't want to really mess with this game.
Okay.
Yeah, who got called up? It was Junior Caminero, which is awesome. That's like probably the most hyped up prospect outside of Wander that they've had in that system. And I was shocked that he got called up. I didn't think that was like a real possibility this year. But he's up, and that could be great because I'm tired of seeing Taylor Walls. I'm tired of seeing Taylor Walls take at bats when it matters, respectfully.
That's facts, and let's hope it goes a little bit better than Wander Franco.
Yeah, it's hard to go worse. I literally, I'm so conservative, or have been conservative about Rays jerseys that I get. And I was like, all right, now that we got probably 2 or 3 that we signed to extensions. You got Yandy, you got Randy, you got Wander. Let me lock in and get one because these guys are going to be Rays for life. Of course, Wander Franco is now sitting in my desk here. Crazy.
Well, if you ever run out of toilet paper, now you got something.
Yeah, I might not even make it there. I got to get a Randy jersey, man.
That just sucks. That's just dog meat is what that is. Oh.
Just like, it just hurts to like look at it. I'm just like, man, we just got to be so much better.
So much better, Javon. Golly. You're supposed to be the baseball shark too, man. What the hell?
That was probably my least sharp baseball decision. Crazy.
Logan Thomas out. Curtis Samuel questionable. Shocker. I didn't even know Curtis Samuel was hurt. That guy's literally the dude from SpongeBob who says my leg, who gets hurt.
Who's the backup tight end? His name has slipped my mind.
Bates.
I feel like there's another one.
We do. We have a couple.
Cole Turner?
Yeah, Cole Turner's the other one. Yep.
I might have to give him a look this week.
Straight up. We got Bates and Turner.
Depending on the weather.
I have no idea which one it's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't usually like to play weatherman, but it's a little hurricane, so you kind of have to. I don't know what I'm going to do for that game. I think the Commanders might be live, but that's another conversation for another day.
Okay. W's. And Logan Thomas, after seeing that hit in the end zone last week, I'd be surprised if we see him for the next couple weeks. Hope he's okay. Definitely has a concussion. Got to find a Wander jersey listed on the offshore in about 45 minutes. Offer up.
Yeah, just maybe.
Yep, that'll be getting shipped from Dallas, Texas. Okay.
Yeah, you can have that one.
Raise ML, but you don't love it enough to bet it?
Yeah, I'm not betting that.
Do you like the Marlins today?
I don't mind them. It's weird because I like the under in this game more than probably a side here, but I do think Corbin Burns is going to shove, and I don't know exactly what the plan is for the Marlins. I know Chargois, I think, is opening. I don't know if they have a bulk starter behind that or they're just going full-on bullpen game. So if they're going full-on bullpen game, that worries me. It's sad, especially like not throughout the game because I think they're going to be majority shut down, but at the end of games, that's where they've really, really struggled in the last couple of weeks. Another reason why the wild card race has gotten as interested as it is. because they've been choking away games. They choked away a couple to the Mets, a couple to some other teams the week before that. So I would be concerned. I think if you're going full bullpen game and you get a couple of guys late that are kind of gassed, and this is a tied game, maybe the Marlins are winning, you live bet the Brewers. I think that's the kind of game you're going to get here. But I do think we get a relatively slow game, playoff atmosphere type game. Not hard to say that with these two offenses. So I'd go under here.
Okay.
Ooh, Pirates Reds is up to 10.
Good.
Yeah, I mean,
Tell people why you like the over.
I locked in a 9.5. I think they go out and they destroy Luis Ortiz. It's not like a Twins pitcher situation where you have an actual good arm on the other side. Luis Ortiz is bad. He also has a lack of command of the strike zone. The Reds have been one of the more patient teams in the league, actually, as of late, which is kind of why they started playing such good baseball for the last couple of weeks. So I don't think Luis Ortiz pitched well, but I also really don't believe in Andrew Abbott in this game specifically, but also kind of the end of the season. He's got dead arm. He's gassed. He's fighting through it because the Reds have really no other option. But especially like the Pirates against lefties that throw a lot of fastballs, that's where they find their little best stretch. Brian Reynolds is good in the spot. Brian Hayes especially has been Barry Bonds as of late. Love this matchup for him as well. Like I think the Pirates are going to score runs. Ortiz not starting now.
I'm seeing.
Who is starting?
Oh no, Javon. It's the magic man himself. It's Jackson.
Andre Jackson?
Yeah.
He's probably. I don't know if he's going long though. If
probably
that's
not.
The case.
Probably
that means
not.
we're probably going to see Luis Ortiz at some point. So that's perfectly fine with me.
Okay.
I still like so. I mean, the totals going up with that being like announced is probably enough to tell you what's going on there.
Javon, why is Joey Votto narrating SpongeBob when they're trying to make the playoffs for the first time since Nam?
Let him have his fun, dude. Let him have his fun.
Dude.
Realistically, like they're not going to make the playoffs because of Joey Votto, man. It's the rest of the guys that got to lock in.
I mean, I'll have to tune into this episode 100%, but he is so not locked. Chaka's right. He's right.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be locked, man. Is
he playing every day these days?
No, he's not playing.
Okay. Probably because he's working on the new SpongeBob app.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing voiceovers in the clubhouse.
You're a game out of the freaking postseason for the first time ever, and you're narrating SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love SpongeBob, more than most, but come on, you can't wait a week? Golly, Joey. He stays being the weirdest guy on earth. Not a bad thing. Not saying it's weird to be weird or bad to be weird, but Joey Votto, he is one of a kind. Straight up.
That could be a SpongeBob narrative play right here.
Jeez, man. That could be the SpongeBob POD.
I can't remember when a SpongeBob narrative play was lost, so it just might be the Reds today, man.
Could be a brand new bag for Pearl. And might not even have to pay for it.
Okay. Yeah, he ain't paying for it.
Oh, that joke sounded terrible coming out of the lips. All right, let's keep moving to groove. And Javon, take me to DC. What are you liking about the Nats game? Is Patrick Corbin giving up 10 runs today, or is he getting 10 strikeouts today?
I mean, I definitely think he's going to be closer to Jake Irvin than Nolan Ryan.
Oh,
I'll say that. I mean, what do you want me to tell you here, Krabs?
I don't know. Tell me something. Tell me a lie. Tell me something fake. Give me some hope. As J Red gives us a stuff bang. 15 months from J Red. That's what I'm talking about, my guy. W's. Tell me a lie. Tell me he's getting 10 strikeouts today.
If you want me to tell you something blatantly false, I would say he's getting 10 strikeouts today. But
okay, good.
If you want me to tell you something that'll give you a little bit of hope, I don't think the Nationals are going to be completely out of this game, to be honest with you. I do think we get a decent bit of runs from the Braves against Patrick Corbin, but Charlie Morton, he's in a weird spot because he was dominating for a while, and now I don't know if it's a fatigue thing or just him getting off of the ridiculous stretch that he was on. I do think he's going to get a couple runs today against the Nationals. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a pretty close game, and then we see maybe a bullpen explosion from the Nationals late, if they need it or not, I guess, for the Braves to kind of pull ahead and take control of this game. But I do think for some part of the game, the Nats are going to be in it. I don't really know how to bet it with that involved, but I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe just an over in this game.
Can we take a peep at the odds for the Braves to score first in this game, Goots? Can you be a superhero for us? They're probably minus.
That's got to be minus 800.
Probably, and as it should be, because Patrick Corbin's the worst first-inning pitcher in baseball, and the Braves are the best first-inning offense probably in MLB history, at least for this season. as Anthony Richardson is officially out. Not surprising there. That might honestly be better for the Colts this weekend. But Javon, you think the Nats have a chance here? Corbin probably not going to pitch his best, but I could see both bullpens also getting lit up too. It could be a square over in this spot, but the splits on the under are so sharp and the total's moving down where I'm going to go ahead and stay off. But I will say, not even I'm trying to get cute enough to take this under in this game. No chance.
Yeah, no shot there. No shot.
Yep.
I'm good.
Minshew mania, folks. Sure. Guys, Corbin's probably going to give up 3 runs in the first, and then he'll settle in, finish with 2 strikeouts, and he'll only give up 4 earned runs. And the Nats will lose. That's how this game's going.
I can see that.
All right. Javon, take us to New York and Philly. The Mets showed heart last night. Not enough.
Not enough. I don't know. I honestly think this game's going to be pretty similar. Maybe they scratch out a little late 1-run win against Tyler McGill and whoever's coming out of the bullpen after him. But Taijuan Walker is started to look like Taijuan Walker. So this game looks like literally a carbon copy of yesterday's game. So whenever that happens, especially late in the season, usually want to start zigzagging. But I wouldn't mind a stab at the Mets again. I just don't want to go to the grave with it.
And I'm with you, Davey Martinez's burner. Please feel free to whisper in his ear to go out there and do his best to get 10 strikeouts. But they ain't striking out 10 times against Corbin, man. It's going to get ugly. But Javon, I'm with you, dude. Fade in Philly is a death wish, but Taijuan Walker is pitching like Taijuan Walker right now. He's getting crushed up. Do you think the Mets are a live doggy here? The line's moved 5 cents back towards them on the ML.
Yeah, again, if you've paid attention, if anybody's been betting baseball for a couple years and you start to see these late September games that are pretty identical, just because I don't know if it's an odds maker thing or whatever. If you start to see games that look exactly identical, back-to-back games, you probably want to start zigzagging. That's my late season advice if you're betting baseball. Games look exactly the same. Zigzag, big dogs, you can get cute, sprinkle them as long as they're not teams like, I don't know, the A's that are pretty obviously dead.
Yep. Fade the Cubs, half you on the ML for the Rockies. That's how we're betting that game today. Dubs. Keep moving and grooving, Javon. Take us to the slate.
Luke Weaver's a favorite, man.
Dude, I thought we agreed that we were only going to bet him if the line stayed or moved the other way.
Yes.
Is that agreement been broken?
Possibly. Well, because it's also I know we talked about the Yankees series price against the Jays, and that didn't work out. They only won one of those games, but they were a short favorite in that game or in that series. They're minus 120. So when I look now, this is a Diamondbacks team that cannot afford a series loss. Cannot afford it. They cannot afford to lose this game either against Luke Weaver, which they're an underdog with Brandon Pfaadt on the mound against a Yankees team who hasn't hit a righty since 1982. And what do we see? It's not just the Yankees being a short favorite. The Yankees are minus 165 to win the series with, granted, on both sides, you're not seeing aces. So you would look, and I sent it to somebody, the Diamondbacks argument was, well, you have no Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen pitching in the series. Well, for the Yankees, you have the only 2 competent starting pitchers for the Yankees pitching because Garrett Cole and Michael King just pitched, and they just shoved against the Blue Jays the last 2 days. So you're getting Luke Weaver, Clark Schmidt, and Carlos Rodon in a 3-game series against a team who is top of the wild card race, out of the 4 teams, or top of the questionable teams, because the Phillies are obviously top wild card spot, but out of the 4 teams that are still fighting for their place in the wild card, the D-backs are in the driver's seat because they're a game up on the others. They can't afford to lose this series. And you're telling me the Yankees are minus 165 with Schmidt, Rodon, and whoever else we have, or Luke Weaver going today. Luke Weaver is probably the worst starting pitcher I've watched with my 2 eyeballs this season, and that's saying a lot. I don't know how the Reds won as many games with him starting as they did. It's honestly incredible.
Because they got insane run support whenever he would pitch at a record rate.
It was literally it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. That was honestly the most impressive part of the Reds throughout the whole season stretch, their 12-game winning streak, whatever. I would say it's as many games as they won with Luke Weaver on the mound. That was absolutely insane. So, we're seeing him as a favorite today against Brandon Pfaadt. Yankees minus 165 to win a series in a must-win spot for the Diamondbacks. I bet.
You're so right. And people in chat are saying the D-backs are going to close a favorite by game time. They probably will.
It shouldn't be here in the first place. They should be minus 150. So
Yeah.
if it's anything below that, which it's obviously not going to get there, my point doesn't change.
Maybe odds makers are thinking that the D-backs are going to choke like they always do. Like they've pretty much been doing for the majority of the second half, besides a couple of hot streaks, right?
And this is a valid point too, kind of. I don't think the D-backs are playing significantly better than the rest of the race. They just happen to play 7 games against the Cubs, and I think they took 6 of those. So, I mean, they got fortunate. The Cubs are still good teams. Like, I don't want to take the wins away from them, but it was more Cubs playing bad than them playing good. That's the reason why they're in the driver's seat at this point. So, especially like Brendan Pfaadt, like he's not very good. He gets good, which on paper this would be a pretty decent matchup for him, but any team with any righties with any sort of pop or can hit righties with any sort of cotton pop, he's been terrible. So I mean the Yankees don't really have that as much as some other teams, but him sitting as an underdog here kind of makes you think.
Ballpark Pal saying they're projecting the D-backs to score almost a full run at the Yanks, and the line does not reflect that. Yeah. And usually when lines are weird, it's for a reason, and you want to be on that side. So Vegas doesn't look like it does by Arizona ML bets hitting today. If bets like Arizona ML hit today, Vegas wouldn't be a thing, and sportsbooks would be out of business, and we'd all be rich.
I just can't get over that. It's like a lot of the time with these weird prices, and I see the series prices kind of working in tandem with that, it's a really short favorite. It's a minus 120. It's a minus 130, but it's minus 165 when the Yankees don't have Garrett Cole or Michael King pitching. That's insane.
Yeah, that is weird. That's weird. I'm in. Give me the Yankees on the ML. D-backs are pretty public right now, getting 70% of bets in handle. And yes, guys, we know there's a Yankee tax, no matter if they're the worst team in baseball or the best. So the line's always going to be a little bit more towards them. But still, cannot ignore this line and going to have to bet responsibly on the Yankees for a unit today. Nothing more.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, this is probably, if we're talking all 3 games, this is probably my least favorite spot, but potentially favorite line for the Yankees. Because, like, I can tell you, I 100% am going to back Rodon tomorrow, even throughout, the whole day of college football. I have to do it. Luke Weaver, I don't know. Luke Weaver, he just magically pulls out these couple starts out of his ass where he just is the best pitcher of all time. And I guess last time out, he kind of did that. I wouldn't be shocked if this is another one today. Especially, I mean, I think if they thought Luke Weaver was going to pitch bad, we would be seeing 8.5 plus.
Yeah.
And we're getting 8.
We're getting 8. Unbelievable, folks. Javon, we have the best college football slate potentially of the entire season on Saturday, and you are signing up willing to bet on Rodon tomorrow and the Yankees. That is disgusting, and that is why you're my host on the show, because you get it. You just get it.
I mean, I'm not paying attention to that game in the slightest. I'm just telling you, the second the line drops and I'm able to bet it, which I guess it probably has at this point on my book, I'm placing it in and forgetting it.
Sure, because they're not losing both these games today and tomorrow. All right.
Yeah.
Dubs, let's keep moving and grooving here, Javon. Baltimore, Cleveland. Shout out the Guardians last night in that sketchy line coming through with Hunter Gaddis getting the starts and them getting a late night win against the Poverty O's. Javon, your Rays have life. Are you hoping / thinking that the Orioles drop another one here in this spot with Bieber coming back?
I'm hoping. Definitely hoping, but this feels like, to me, kind of an overly obvious spot to fade the Orioles, which whenever those are situations or whenever it's an obvious spot to fade the Orioles, that never works. So, I mean, I don't want to get involved in this game this far in the season. I do think Dean Kramer, I don't want to say beat the allegations because he's still not a good pitcher, but like in certain matchups against teams that don't really strike out as much, like you would think to fade him, and he started kind of regressed, or I guess progressed positively, to give me a little more confidence in him. So like Orioles is a dog, randomly pays out. This probably seems like one of those games, especially with Shane Bieber returning, who, I mean, they've already seen him earlier in the season. It was a while ago, like pre-injury, but they destroyed him. And the Guardians, I believe, still won that game, not because of Shane Bieber. So it's kind of seeming like a square Oriole spot to me, as much as I hate to say it.
Okay. And I'm with you. You know what? The O's come through in spots like this 9 times out of 10. We'd be ludicrous to fade it. Straight up.
Yeah.
Lean O's, we move. It's Shane Bieber coming back from an injury. That's a big name guy. People are going to be betting him, trying to fade the O's. With Creamer on the bump, no thanks. The O's will find a way to win that game like they do every night.
Yeah,
Right.
probably will.
They probably will. White Sox, Boston. Anything in that game?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, Boston's going to score off of Tuki Toussaint. That dude literally walks 5 guys a game, and that's not an exaggeration. So, I mean, the Red Sox are probably going to put it on them. And despite how Sale pitches, they're going to score. So, probably off the top of my head, Boston team total, if anything.
Dubs. All right. What about Seattle and Texas? Dane Dunning Day today, potentially.
Yeah, Dane Dunning Day. I like Dane Dunning today. I think the Rangers get it done today in a pretty massive matchup here against the Mariners, who are also fighting for that wild card spot, or one of the couple there. So I think Dane Dunning pitches really well. I think Bryce Miller gets hit up a little bit, 9.5 total, which I think we always pretty much get when we have a Dane Dunning start. It's always a lot higher than you would think it should be. So I think he pitches kind of well today. If you look at his prize pick squares too, I think they are directly in line with him, controlling his command of the strike zone, not walking guys. He has a fully greened out walk square. His hits allowed, I believe, is also green. I think that's the other one I saw. You might have to pull that one out. 50 units. 50 units.
50 bases.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about Bryce Miller too. His fastball hasn't had the same command that we're kind of used to seeing. Like a lot of the Mariners pitchers, especially the ones that are like bad against lefties, which is 90% of them pretty much, because I guess 4 out of the 5 of the main starters they need good fastball command to avoid getting turked on. And Bryce Miller is kind of, I don't want to say dissipated because it's still there, but it hasn't been as strong over the past handful of starts against lefties. So, I mean, if we're seeing the main lefty in the lineup, Corey Seager, and then throw in a Nate Lowe and some of the other guys there, he could be in a little bit of trouble. But I do think Dane Dunning, and I don't know if they're going to pitch him full start or tandem or backpack or whatever, but Dane Dunning, when he's in the game, is going to pitch pretty well, I believe. And then Bryce Miller is not.
I'm so with you. And I think the prize picks board reflects that as well, with some of those earned run squares, some of those fantasy scores, and some walks allowed squares for those 2 starting pitchers. I'm so with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Dubs, Crab's got something you'll love. Deion Sanders got a parking ticket this morning. God, all jokes aside, the W comments, and I love that chirp. I don't think I've done a good enough job of emphasizing that I don't hate Coach Prime at all as a person. I just hate how everybody is now a Colorado fan and acting like they're in full uniform on Saturdays when the game starts. That's what I don't like. I don't like that the media is only talking about Colorado. It annoys the heck out of me. But I don't hate Deion Sanders at all. Do I, love Deion Sanders? No, I don't love him. He was a cowboy who used to tear the Redskins up back in the day. And then when he came to the Redskins back in the day, he was atrocious and stole money from Dan Schneider pretty much, which honestly, thinking about it now, maybe I should like him for that because Dan Schneider's the worst. But it's not a Deion Sanders hate, folks. And I might make jokes about, chirping Deion or Coach Prime or whatever, but he's a good dude and he's changing college football. He's getting more people to watch games than ever before. You're seeing all these NFL stars saying they were watching the game on their freaking plane or on the way to, traveling because, and people are watching Colorado versus Colorado State, a game that nobody would give a hoot about last year. So it is good for casuals. It is good for the sport. I'm not an idiot. I know that. I just think it's so blown out of proportion, and I want to hear about other teams. I want to hear about other shit. I don't want to hear about every little thing Coach Prime does. I don't need to see him getting a parking ticket. I don't give a shit. I want to know about the other 150 D1 teams. All right? That's how I feel, and I feel like I haven't done a good enough job of kind of vocalizing that. I don't hate Coach Prime. Okay? I hate the Colorado gas. That's what I hate.
Yeah.
And
you don't hate the Colorado. You don't hate Colorado and Coach Prime. You hate the Colorado Slurpers. 2 different
Yes. Groups. The people who are acting like they're in full uni with Shador and Travis Hunter. It's absurd. That is what bugs me. That's what grinds my gears. That's what's driving me nuts. It's not the Colorado football program. They're geniuses for paying Coach Prime to come in. Their economy, their city is going to grow immensely from this. It's like when Michael Vick went to Blacksburg. He changed the school. People wanted to go there. They wanted to root for the football team. And it literally, they did studies on it at school, Javon. It changed Blacksburg and it changed Virginia Tech. It made the school better, harder to get into, and put it where it is now at a pretty damn good school. It's the same shit. It's smart. I just hate the slurpers, chat. That's all it is. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. Javon, I know you're on the same page. What about Kansas City and Houston? I got a prize pick square in this game I like, but I want to hear your read first.
I'm taking Reagans at 5. I have to do it. I think this is going to be a slower game to start. I mean, there's a reason. Like Cole Reagans has been Nolan Ryan, and you're going to, I assume, you look into some of his lines and you see very low things, partially because he's facing the Astros who don't strike out, which is kind of been the backbone of really everything he's done since he's been getting this little resurgence as a Royal. But I think that continues. It just might be with a little less swing and miss and a lot more command. And yeah, you should. That would be something that you could rock. It would be fire.
What, dudes? Bong, we do it all for you, man, but come on.
Hilarious. But yeah, give me Reagans at 5. I think the Royals do enough against Framber. Very rarely if I've been, especially in the second half of the season, backing them on the road. But I think Cole Reagans is just that good. I'm willing to put my meat on the line and say that Framber's going to go up a couple runs, and that just might be enough. And very obviously, I don't want to get involved with the Royals bullpen because they suck at what they get paid to do. And this is an Astros team that also needs to win, and they're going to have a situation to do it late in the game. So keep me out of that. Reagans at 5.
Okay. W's a Sanders Yankees jersey, guys. If I put that on my body, I would explode. I would combust. I wouldn't be like it wouldn't work. I would just die right on the spot. All right, Javon, the square I like in this game, and it kind of correlates with what you were talking about. Framber Valdez more than 1.5 walks. All right, and I hope this is still up there on the board, and it actually is. Yes, and he hasn't been walking too many people recently, but he's definitely had a walk issue this year. And I know he pitches much better at home. I don't care. I think it's weird this squares up. And I think it's even weirder that on the books, it's minus 130. That's crazy. He just pitched against the Royals in the last game, and he walked them once. And the Royals, Javon, they walked the second least in baseball this season. They're 29th in baseball in walks per game. But if you look at how they've been, their approach to the plate recently, they've been walking almost twice as much this past week. Maybe they're taking a more patient approach. I don't know. Maybe they got new guys in the lineup. I don't know. But either way, they've been way more patient this week. And I think with Sketchball Framber on the bump, I want to fade him and take his more than 1.5 walks allowed when it looks like the less than will be free against the Poverty Royals. I think Framber struggles for that.
Yeah, I'm in. I think if you're going to get the Royals to kind of eke out a couple of runs against Framber, they're going to have to be patient and get free passes.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, coming off of, it always rings in the back of your mind. 2 starts in a row against the team, even when you're flip-flopping back to where you've been much better at home. That's something to keep in mind, which Cole Reagans is a newer pitcher, so I'm not all that worried about what he's going to do 2 starts in a row. There's a little less sample size on him. But for Framber, they've seen him 2 times in a row and a couple of times, earlier in the season and prior, especially like some of the guys like a Bobby Witt at the top of the lineup too. So it's going to get weird.
Sure. I think this is the most positive reaction I've gotten from an MLB square all season.
It was actually that was a W square, W sell job. Chote's bricked.
W Chote, although I will say after all that gas, no chance it hits, but I'll still be locking it in.
There you go. Sure. All right. There you go.
Sharp sell job, sure. Chats, rare crabs in the MLB lab. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Javon, Royals first fivers?
First fivers.
Plus a half or ML?
ML.
ML with push potentials?
Yeah, if it pushes, we pushes. But I'm taking the Royals. I'd rather not take a minus 100 bet or minus 105 bet. I think it is.
Yeah.
Give me the juice.
Bobby Witt.
Might just be him today.
It might be him. Javon, anything in the Angels and Twins game as we power through these last 4 games?
I think this is a dominant game from the Twins. Davis Daniel. Not many people know too much about him, and I'm not going to act like I do either, but he's come up in the minors. It's going to be his debut, I believe. He, especially like later in his little season in the minors here, he's had a big walk problem. So like the Twins, probably going to get some free bases today. I see Pablo Lopez, a lot of his props definitely are interesting. I would say they're a little lower than I would expect, but I really expect the Twins bats to come to play here against Daniel, especially if they're getting a lot of free passes. I'm looking at prize pick squares. The one that really stands out to me is on the bottom right there. Royce Lewis run square. Whenever he has a total basis square, it piques my interest because he's usually a hit run RBI guy. Now he has a run square, which is a step beyond that. So you can count me in to take him to cross the place. caught the plate. Especially, I mean, if he
Yeah.
comes up with the bases loaded, he's literally the greatest hitter I've ever seen with my two eyes. Oh, Warner.
You want me to say it?
I mean, yeah, I'm not.
We might need
we're not betting against the Twins, so it's okay to say it now.
We might need Matt Wallner to drive in Royce Lewis today. How about that, folks? Does that work?
That actually does work.
W. Jenks.
There you go.
Okay, Matt Wallner. You guys ever heard of him? You guys know who Matt Wallner is? You ever heard of Matt Wallner? You guys know what team he plays for, Matt Wallner? You guys heard of him before? Matt Wallner? Let's hope he gets a base knock today with our guy Royce Lewis on base.
There we
W's.
go.
Did y'all cover the Rangers yet? Seager Day, season entry hitting, question mark. I hope it's Seager Day.
It might be the day that he goes green.
Sure.
I'd be down for that.
Please, 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 please. He needs one more hit.
One, maybe two.
Okay. Dubs. Lewis, come home. Yes, sir, Big Rob. Yes, sir. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. Wags Locks just nuked the home run. Locking in Wallner plus 2+ home runs now. Lembong, you get it, bro. Javon, we've had a fella in chat who cannot stop talking about Fernando Tatis today on the Prize Picks board. He's dropped 100 comments. We owe it to him. What do you think about that square? I don't like it today.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean,
Okay.
Really like a guy like Dakota Hudson, which I guess is a couple of the pitchers. Kind of like he throws similar things like Adam Wainwright minus the curveball. Same with Miles Michaelis. Sinker slider guys. That's when I'm perfectly fine taking Tatis. So if you're going to take anybody in this game, it would probably be square up and take Tatis. But I would be lying if I said I felt the urge. I don't think I've ever felt the urge to bet a baseball game less than Padres Cardinals in late September. So, I mean, best of luck to you, my man, who loves Tatis today. I think it's a good bet, but I'm not talking about this game any longer, man.
Okay.
Respect.
Yeah. Let's talk about the standings right now, Javon. And I'm not saying I'm willing to put my meat on tape for the Padres to make the playoffs. That would be crazy. But I am saying they're only 4 games back, Javon, with 8 or 9 games left on the season. And you know what? Mathematically, it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
We coming.
We coming. Yes, sir, Goots. Padres fan. Sure. We coming. They're on fire right now. Hilarious. They're playing their best baseball this season right now. I think they've won 7 games in a row. Chat, the numbers don't lie. Watch the Padres right now. I know you guys have checked out from the Padres for the last 2 months. I know you're not watching them right now. They are dialed playing their best baseball this season on a crazy win streak, and they are not out of it yet. And the teams ahead of them are doing everything they can, Javon, cover your ears, to miss the playoffs. They are. I don't know if it's impossible. That's all I'm going to say.
I think they can jump the Giants because the Giants suck. They're fraudulent, just like we've been talking about all season. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But like the other teams, I mean, the Reds are not. I guess they were playing really well for the last couple weeks until like the Twin series. But they have a pretty easy schedule. I guess the rest of them have a pretty easy schedule. The Cubs don't, but it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see where the Brewers and Braves stand motivation-wise towards the end of the season, even though I think the Brewers, it won't matter because their pitching staff can beat you regardless.
Yep.
But yeah, I think they can make it interesting, like on paper. I just don't think you'll ever be in the position to jump
Okay.
But all the Giants, Reds, and maybe the Marlins or Cubs.
It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. But you know what? The Mima Padres might be out. Mush is right. Mush is right.
Yeah.
The Giants are in REM sleep. Miami's nothing special. The Reds are sketchball McGee's. The Giants stink. The Cubs are playing like moose. You don't know.
Let's see them beat Dakota Hudson before we start talking.
100%, because I'm starting to get vibes where I like the under in this game. I think Dakota might pitch pretty well today, Javon. Take a peek at that earned run square real quick. I think Dakota Hudson pitches okay.
Yeah, just
Don't
might.
let him get hot.
It's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
GG's.
All right. Interesting. Let's talk about the Yankees magic number being 12 with only 9 games left. People forget, Matt. People forget. They still have life too. Although I am rooting against them. And Aaron Judge. I am. Javon, I know the Padres aren't making the playoffs, man, but can we get the people betting this game today? Is it the under? Why is that total coming down?
Yeah, I mean, sure, the under. But I mean, if you're betting anything in this game, please don't.
Okay. Anything in Tigers athletics or
We
no?
got a knuckleballer on the mound for the Padres.
Yeah, they do have a knuckleballer.
Yeah, he's terrible.
He's garbage.
He's moose.
He's the second coming of R.A. Dickey. Just wait.
He's moose. He stinks.
I bet.
Those are the worst knuckleballs I've ever seen in my life. All right. Javon, anything in these last two games?
I like the Tigers. This is probably my square up spot on the card here today. Sawyer Gipson-Long is actually really good. And for a team, I'm down to fade the teams, I guess, other than the Royals, kind of late in the season that are out of it, especially when Sawyer Gipson-Long is a prospect they're bringing up that they kind of want to get a look at him, so they're going to let him go. He also doesn't throw a lot of fastballs, which is the interesting thing about him. He's going to throw literally everything but a fastball. His arsenal is pretty unique. So going up against an Oakland offense that you really need to throw a lot of fastballs and they need to jump on it early for them to be live offensively in a game, I think he's going to dominate in a similar way to Tariq Skubal yesterday. And it's not going to take many runs, I think, for the Tigers to control this one. Waldichuk has been garbage, and the bullpen is obviously much, much worse. So I do think it's a square spot for the Tigers today.
Did you see what the Athletics gave Miguel Cabrera for his send-off gift?
I did.
What are we doing?
It's the most Oakland A's thing ever.
It's the most Oakland A's. They don't give a hoot. They're poor. They're broke. They're cheap bastards. Guys, they gave Miggy less than $100 bottle of wine as his retirement gift, the Hall of Famer. People are building chairs for this guy. They're giving him signed jerseys hung up. They're giving him the craziest gifts of all time when he's been going on this send-off tour. And they're giving him an $80 bottle of wine? What are we doing? And the worst part is, I was waiting for someone to say it, the guy has gone through his struggles with alcohol in the past. Everyone knows it. The guy is a recovering alcoholic, and God bless his soul, he's, overcome it and still been able to, perform, and he's sober now, and what a beast for doing that. But, take 3 seconds, Oakland, to do some research on giving this legend a parting gift before you guys look like a fool. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
If I worked for the Athletics, I don't know if I'd be able to look myself in a mirror working for that organization, man. They are moose. That is a joke. How disrespectful that is.
Yeah.
The Dodgers gave him the coolest gift ever. They gave him a Hollywood star with his name engraved in it. Super cool. That's what Miguel Cabrera deserves. He's a Hall of Famer, a legend, one of the best hitters I've ever seen in my life. And you're giving him a bottle of wine when the guy's a recovering alcoholic. If you're an A's fan or you work for the team, I'm sorry. And if you're the GM or you're an exec making the calls, you are scum. Do 5 minutes of research. You lazy bums. Cheap bastards.
It's crazy. I can't believe that's a thing. It's not even the good stuff, man.
Guardians know he likes music. They gave him a custom guitar. They didn't give him a bottle of alcohol when he's a recovering alcoholic. What are we doing?
What the hell? What are we doing?
And then he's got to sit there and smile and act like it's not the weirdest gift ever. He's probably feeling so weird. Oh, gross. Yeah. Gross. All right. Javon, you do think the Tigers, though, are a live dog here on the road? Or sorry, a live dog
by the A's. Yeah. They're minus 150 just about now. But, yeah, I do think they win the game.
Okay. What about San Fran and LA? Wrap us up real quick. We'll craft up a prize picks for the people, and then we'll get to the weekend plays.
Yeah, I'm pretty much good on this game. I don't know what the plans are past Sean Manaea. And we'll see here. And I guess Ferguson, what the plans are behind him, are a pretty big question, too. Took the over yesterday, which ended up pushing. So I don't want to really get involved in a game that feels pretty similar now. But probably lean it if I had to go anything again.
Yep. That is more than fair. I'm so good on this game, too. No thanks. And that line keeps coming down to San Fran with Manaea on the bump. Weird.
Yeah.
Not like that. Okay. Yeah, Trent's going to nuke the Dodgers tonight. Probably. All right, chat. You guys asked for a little prize picks entry for today. We can deliver. Javon, maybe we get a little two-piece going for MLB today just to feel something, see one get through the hoop. Maybe we pair that walk square with that Royce Lewis run.
Yeah, which one? Which walk square? You want to take Framber?
Yeah, Framber walks.
Framber, W's.
Framber walks. Love that square. Chat, love that pitch. Maybe we'll get some people to tail this one. Royce Lewis, more than half a run. And Framber Valdez, more than 1.5 walks allowed.
Yeah.
Little two-piece hold to fry.
Yeah. I'm in.
You want to make sure Royce Lewis is playing before we lock this in?
Yeah. She's been
Okay.
there's been some questions, but we'll see.
Okay.
He's
People
in
are
the
saying he
lineup.
might be hurt.
Don't trick.
He's in the
But yeah,
lineup?
he's supposed to be coming back today, but
Okay.
I'm saying just wait to lock it in before you make sure.
Okay. W's chat. Be patient. Wait a little bit. But this is a two-piece we can lock in. Javon, unless you have any other squares you wanted to sub in for Royce.
No, not really. I mean, we can.
Okay.
I think there's a couple guys up for the Twins that if he's not playing, feel comfortable taking it. Like a Max Kepler 1.5 bases, kind of same type deal there. So if he doesn't play, sub that in.
W's. But these are our two donkey squares of the day today, folks. So paired in a two-piece, C green, go about your day, build bankroll for the weekend. Because you're going to have to tail the 5 guys. 5-piece prize picks entry. They were about to craft up here in a second, folks. Little two-piece, Framber more than 1.5 walks, and Royce Lewis more than half a run. Stay posted if he's in the lineup first. He should be back up.
Yeah, should be.
Dubs. Word. Favorite MLB play today? Straight bet.
Probably the over in Pittsburgh and Cincinnati.
Okay. After your sell job, I'm probably going to go Yankees ML.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sure.
That's fair.
All right. Dubs, chats, let's craft for the weekend. All right, we're going to craft up a little weekend 5 guys, prize picks, 5-piece for college football and NFL. We're going to craft up a 5-piece Hail Mary parlay for college football and NFL this weekend. Brutal start for these 2 new segments last week. Losing the first play for both, I believe. So I like our chances this week, folks. We're bouncing back. All right, and then we're going to do squad ride and college football squad ride after. Chat, let me know your favorite play on the prize picks board for the weekend, whether it's college football, whether it's NFL. I don't give a hoot. I know some of you guys have looked at the board already. It's juicy for the weekend. We need a 5-piece. Javon, we could start with college. Any football squares you want to take from the young gentleman on Saturdays?
So, it's a good amount to ask for. Pretty high number to go to, but you're talking about Virginia Tech's rushing defense. He gave up 7.5 yards a carry to Rutgers last week. I want to back for Sheen Ali, Marshall Goats.
You do want to take him. Okay.
I do want to take him. It's a high number. It's pushing 100 or over 100, I guess, at this point. I just think he goes for 150 on this defense. I genuinely do, especially if we're seeing a clock chewing fest, which honestly, like Cam Fancher is not the greatest quarterback, and when he's pressured, they get a little conservative play calling wise. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Rasheen Ali get fed quite a bit, a little more than they have early in the season.
Okay. I'm good with that. I mean, he should absolutely grub. And although I like the under in the game, their game plan is going to be to give this kid the ball at least 30 times in this spot. At least. It's going to be all Rashid Ali against our Moose D-line. I'm in.
Yeah, the D-line is so bad.
They're so bad. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. If they don't turn it around next year, I'm going to start roasting Brent Prom. Give him one more year.
Especially because, I mean, if this is actually included come Saturday, I mean, that does nothing but help.
That's only going to help. Yep.
Yeah.
100%. All right. What else, Javon? Any other college donkeys we need to take?
There's no donkeys, but I mean, if we want to put another college one in, we should probably go to a game that we think is going to have a good amount of points. Because that was, I guess, probably the area that we lacked in the squares last week. A lot of those games did not end up a lot of points. So I would say, I don't know, what are the games you want to target here?
I mean, you know what I want to do.
You want to put Bo Nix in there in some form or fashion? I figured that was where you're going.
No. Try again.
Try again. What other games do we have that are going to happen?
No, it's that game.
Oh, it's that. Oh, my. Crabs. Crabs.
I want to fade.
2.5.
I want to fade it. Bro, they're not putting free squares up there. Do you believe? Or you might as well put a Bucks jersey on and some fucking cool sunglasses. Straight up. Do you believe or not?
Damn the Crabs, man. What are we doing?
What's the nastiest Colorado square on the board?
It's that.
Should
it's
the work.
It's without a doubt that.
Less than 2.5?
It is pretty interesting that it is 2.5 flat. I'll say that.
What do you think it would be?
3. at the
Okay.
least.
Huh.
Trying to see what his odds are on the book. But yeah, that's a little lower number than I would have expected to see in a game that I think everybody thinks is going to have 1,000,000 points. His passing touchdown line isn't even touching 2.5, which is weird in the first place.
I mean, he ain't throwing 3. Hate to say it, but he's not.
He doesn't have to throw 3, though. That's the thing.
I mean, if he rushes one in, I'll charge it to the game, but he's not going to. If you'd rather take Bo Nix, we can take Bo Nix, but that's square. And they're destroying this team by 40 points at half, and Bo Nix doesn't come out for the second half. I'm going to be pissed. Guys, I don't care how nasty the squares are. Do you guys want green? Do you want money in your accounts? Do you trust? That's the real question here. Because Shedeur ain't getting 3 touchdowns. He's not.
Is he rushing for a yard? You see, they like just put that one up.
I mean, he might be running around like Daniel Jones, like a chicken with his head cut off.
If you think they're not putting up squares that are going to be green, a half for Shedeur, anything, just looks ridiculously enticing.
How are you feeling about that Oregon D line?
I mean, I think the Oregon defense as a whole is a lot better than people think, especially like on the defensive line. So like I don't think he's going to be all that mobile in this game. He doesn't really have to be in that offense period, but he probably takes 2 sacks.
We'll leave Colorado out because chat's annoying as heck, and they're not going to tail it if we put it in. So let's pivot and find another college football square. And that way on Monday when we come back and Shedeur Sanders has 1 touchdown and negative 30 rush yards, I can tell chat to shut the hell up and maybe they'll start to listen.
Maybe you can just nuke that as your get back 2-piece. Put that in one of the NFL nasty touchdowns or interceptions or whatever, and then you can really swing it out in front of chat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's find another college square. Do you want to go Bo Nix yards?
I mean, if we're going to take something that's going to have points, like we got to take something in this game for backing Oregon, whether it's Bo Nix or Bucky Irving, one of the two. I mean, if we're talking about what theoretically makes the most sense, I mean, I love Bo Nix and he's going to do dirty things, but
let's take Irving.
There are 10 defenses in the entire FBS that are worse than Colorado against the run. 10.
Let's take Irving. Has that gotten bumped at all?
Let's take a quick little peek. What is it, sitting 80.5?
Yep.
Can only assume, because I'm pretty sure Bo Nix has gotten bumped up. I'm sure that has to have some negative effect.
It's 84.5 on DK. Okay, Jake Goat.
It's probably getting bumped soon.
All right, maybe we should lock this one in then. Okay.
Yeah, I'm down.
W's. All right, right now, chat, we got Rasheen Ali, more than 102.5 rush yards. We got Marquise Irving, more than 80.5 rush yards. Let's talk some NFL, Javon. I know you got a wagon square you want to take.
Do I?
Yeah, what about that interception square? Jordan Love.
Yeah, I love Jordan Love. Throw a pick. And it sucks. Yeah. I honestly like the Packers in that game, but this is, pretty easily, I guess, the toughest defense he's faced. He's faced 2 defenses the first 2 weeks that were not going to do incredibly much to challenge him until the Falcons, for a little bit last week, they kind of let him be conservative and cook for a little bit, especially in the second half, but they put the pressure on him a bit more. But, the Bears, week 1, not going to do much. The Saints are going to put a lot of pressure on him, even with Marcus May, I believe, out for a couple weeks, not just this game. You're going to see pressure from the front 7. That's the one thing that the Saints do pretty well, and they kind of make their secondary look good, similar to like how the Niners do it. So I think that Jordan Love is throwing an interception this week.
Okay. And let's lock it in. All right, what else?
Are you putting Fields rushing yards in this?
Yeah, I'm in for that. Is that the play there that everybody's going to be on this weekend?
Probably is, but you're taking the Bears, right?
Yes.
I feel like that's backing kind of the same narrative that he's actually going to do that's going to do what he wants in this offense, and it's going to work a lot better.
Yes, I 100% agree. 58.5 rush yards, Javon.
Yeah, which that got bumped up fat, probably because he said something. But yeah, that got bumped up. His passing yards got bumped down the second he came out and said that. So hoping that it holds true.
Okay. Would you rather take his rushing attempts, or do you just want to stick with the rush yards?
He has rushing attempts.
He's got 9.5
after
rush
3.
Attempts, yeah.
After 3 last week.
Yeah.
Lord.
I mean, that could be the way to kind of avoid the rush yards. And the Chiefs defense has kind of been showing up. And Chris Jones is going to be in there making Justin Fields scramble around like a chicken with his head cut off the entire game. Maybe he does get 10 rush attempts.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate that at all. I mean, realistically, I don't see him going for 10 and less than 60. But I don't know. He might just be running for his life. That D-line is going to get after him. So I'm not against just going rushing attempts.
Let's go attempts. I'd rather do that. All right. Justin Fields, more than 9.5 rush attempts. We got 4 squares as of right now, Javon. We got Rasheen Ali, Marquise Irving, Jordan Love, and Justin Fields. Is there a late night Sunday night football? God, we can put in this potentially sweat out if you like.
But there is. Kenny Pickett completions.
This might be a 5-piece green gob.
That could be it.
This might be a 5-piece green gob, folks. Holy smokes.
This could be it. I mean, this is going to be dink and dunk city against this defense, which, I mean, they're not very good in the first place, but they're playing, I guess, for the same reason I'm backing Cal against Washington, because they're going to play super conservative and kind of cover everything deep and let them dink and dunk their way down the field. It's exactly what the Raiders have done all season against the Bills and the Broncos this far, and I don't see a reason for them not to do that against the Steelers. So it all comes down to Kenny Pickett taking what he's given. I think he's going to do it. And I think they drive down the field with ease and then stall out in the red zone continuously.
Andrew Chaco, sub-bang, 11 months. Buffs are going down. Andrew Chaco, I love you, man. You're a beast. You get it. I appreciate the support. W's. The Buffs are going down. You said, not me. Javon, this is a 5 guys, burgers and fries that might smack. We got Rasheen Ali, more than rush yards. We got Buck Irving, more than rush yards. Jordan Love, more than half a pick. Justin Fields, more than 9.5 rush attempts. Kenny Pickett, more than 20.5 pass attempts. All more thans. We're not putting any Colorado BS in there, chat. If you guys don't tail this after I'm putting my biases aside for you guys, because I know there's green squares out there that we're not going to put in there because you're not going to tail it, and I'm a team player, I'm going to be pissed. So you better lock this puppy in, 5-piece, responsibly, and we'll post the slip as well today. All right, guys, get them in because the lines are going to move and they're going to groove.
Yeah.
W's?
Let's do that. I like that entry a lot.
I really like that entry. All right, chat. And you prefer completions over yards now, right? That was your pivot you made. This is your favorite square of the weekend, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he still gets his yards. Like I said, I'm definitely in the realm of possibility. I think it's a realm of possibility for him to get a 300-yard game for that square, but it's going to be a lot of stuff underneath. So I'd rather count on that being completions more so than chunk plays on dump balls. But yeah, I think it'll be one of the same.
Good. Let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving, folks. We just crafted up the 5 guys entry, and now it's time to craft up the Hail Mary parlay. All right, say a prayer. We're going to need this to smack and need all the help we can get. Javon, where do you want to start? You want to do some college plays?
Yeah, we should start some college plays. Start in there.
All right. Give me your donkey.
Cal. Late night Cal.
Cal. Is that late night?
It is late night.
Okay, good. Is there an earlier game we can put in here too to get it started off? What's our favorite early game?
Let's see. What do we have in the early slate?
We could put Colorado in here. We could put Oregon in here. But again, then chat's going to lose their minds and they're going to cry.
Yeah, nobody's telling that. They're going to bitch ridiculously. So, I mean, you can leave it out if it hits. Trying to see what else we have early. I mean, you could put Utah in there. That's semi-early. 2:30 or 3:30 East Coast.
What about Clemson?
When's that game?
That game's
Is
at
that early?
noon on Saturday.
I feel like that's asking for the biggest game of the slip to happen first, though.
Okay. All right. I'm scrolling through. And again, you don't want to put Oregon in?
Yeah, we don't need to. They're just a bitch. But
What time is that Notre Dame game at?
I believe that's a night game, too.
It's at 7:30. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't play day games in prime time against big teams.
It's Kirk and Chris Fowler. Game day is there.
W's.
Yeah. I mean, you can put Ohio State in there.
W goods.
It's hitting.
And what time is that game at, folks?
That's prime time, NBC.
Yep. Always. 7:30. I'd be down to put Ohio State ML in there.
Yeah, we can do that.
Word. And then you want to put Cal in there as well. And we could always come back and put another college one in if we don't love NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the spread on Cal right now, folks? What are we seeing?
20 and a half.
Okay.
Favorite number.
Okay. W's. So we got Ohio State money line. We got Cal plus 20 and a half. Let's take a look at NFL. We can always come back. Let's take a peek. Manders ML.
Yeah, that's a good lay piece.
No. No. Okay. Not doing it.
What about the over in the Chiefs game?
Why is that total coming down, man?
It's going back up now.
Is it?
Yeah. It
What
got
did
down
get
got down to 47.
Let me check the Splittersons.
It was
Let's
like
see,
an
chat.
early pump fake.
Feel free to drop your favorite plays of the weekend in chat as well. Curious to hear what you guys like.
Colts, Jags, Rams, Broncos.
Chiefs are 0-2 on overs. I like that. I'm down to put that in there.
It's going to hit.
Okay. Chicago, KC, over 48.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we put the Raiders ML in there as the last piece?
I'm down. We can put that in there.
Love that play.
Little late night tuck in for both entries, hopefully, or the entry and the lay.
Hopefully. And then we can put another play in there in between. I mean, I love the Jets. I'm okay with staying off of that, though, if you don't want it.
Yeah, I'm good on the Jets.
Okay.
All due respect.
What about the Broncos? Plus 6.5. 0-2 spread versus 2-0 spreads. Although it did open up at 3.5. Look ahead. I think it got to 7, and then now it's back to 6.5. And fading Miami, who's been elite. I've honestly been impressed with Russell Wilson, though, this season, and I think they're still undervalued on the books. I wouldn't mind taking that.
That one's nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
That's going to hit.
And if you're putting me on the table for it, throw it in.
I'd say either Denver spreads.
So you know what my nomination would be out of the stuff that we have left.
Falcons.
That's a glue POD. All right, I guess there's 2 glue PODs left on the board.
What am I missing here?
Falcons and Browns.
Browns. Why do you want to take the Browns, man? I know Deshaun's going to bounce back and play well, but
I'm shocked you don't want to take the Browns. This is like the perfect spot to back the Browns after the narrative being that Deshaun Watson is the worst quarterback of all time.
sell me on it. Sell me this pen.
I mean, he looks like the worst quarterback of all time. Everybody's thinking that he's washed. That's been the whole narrative since Monday night. But they have no running game now, which they will. Like Jerome Ford was fine against a Cam Hayward-less Steelers team. You'll bring in Kareem Hunt. It's not going to be great from the jump, but he's going to have to pass against the Titans because that is their one weakness that they have defensively. The one glaring weakness is their secondary. So that's why, I mean, I love his passing yards for the goat whale and it slipped by itself in the spot, but there's no better time to back him. I think this is like a 27-10 game. I don't think it's even close.
Well, I was about to say let's take the ML, but do you want to just take the spread?
I mean, it depends on what number we get in here for the lay.
Yeah, Goots, are you able to put together this masterpiece and see what odds it's given us? Ohio State, ML. You can start off with that and try to go in order. And then Cal plus 20.5. And we'll get to NFL here as well. Would you look at that, folks? Would you look at that? Let's see what those odds are on that puppy. Plus 1888. Is 8 a lucky number for you?
I mean, not for me personally, but
okay. I mean, that's juicy as heck. Do we want to take that out and put the ML in and see what it does?
We can stick the ML.
Let's see what it does.
Minus 180 or something.
Yep. W Goots, making sure you're putting the right plays in. Love the heart. Plus 1,500. Okay. I think we roll with that.
That does it.
Sure.
That 1494 looks right. That looks right.
That 1494, yeah, that's looking to be funny. Sure.
Yeah.
5-piece Hail Mary parlay, folks. This is a sprinkle for the weekend to sweat it out. We got games starting Saturday at noon, and it takes us all the way through the Raiders game on Sunday Night Football. Ohio State ML, Cal plus 20.5, Cleveland ML, Chicago, Kansas City over 48, and Las Vegas ML. 5-piece. Hold the fry. Hail Mary, say a prayer. We might need it. Love it. Absolutely love it. I love that. I love the 5-piece, 5 guys prize picks entry. We'll have both these posted later today, folks. Wow. I feel much more confident about these two parlays and prize picks entries than I did last week as well.
Yeah, 100%. These are much better, I think.
Can I read it again, Krabs? Sure. I'll read it one more time, but then I'm going to move because we're going to post these on Twitter. Rashida Lee, more than 102.5 rush yards. We've got Marquise Irving, more than 80.5 rush yards. We got Jordan Love, more than half a pick. Justin Fields, more than 9.5 rush attempts. And we got Kenny Pickett, more than 20.5 pass attempts. All right, that's the 5 guys entry for the weekend. Lock it in. We're sweating this puppy out, and it might take us all the way to Sunday Night Football. All right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Hail Mary parlay one more time. Ohio State ML, Cal plus 20.5, Cleveland ML, the over in Chicago and Kansas City, and the Raiders ML. 5-piece, hold the fry, I bet. Punts for punts. And that's what we're going to call it because I'm not saying the real name of it right now. All right, here we go. Let's move. Push and P. Let's do some squad ride talk, folks. I know we're going to run a couple minutes over. That's okay. I appreciate you guys sticking through this long 2-hour ep. Plenty to talk about today. I'm sure you guys are in on the longer ep anyways. Okay, Javon, it's about that time. Let's craft up a little squad ride, guys, or for the people. We got our swagger back yesterday. Let's give the people another winner for today. What do you want to put in there?
Down to toss the over in Pittsburgh, Cincinnati in there. Probably my favorite play in the diamond.
Pitt, Cincy over. Are we seeing more 9.5s? Are we seeing more 10s?
We see more 9.5s than 10.
How juicy are we talking here? Not too juicy. Okay.
Yeah,
let's go 9.5, minus 115. All right. What else? Do you want to put the Yankees in there, bro?
I'll let the Yankees just leave it off to the side. Playing them, though. This is just – I have, like, the feeling – I think we did the first time with the Padres. Like, this is definitely the weirdest line, but it's not my favorite spot to bet on. So, like, I'm going to bet them just with caution.
All right. Any other baseball plays you want to take?
I would have put the Tigers in there, but they've gotten steamed heavy since we've hopped on here. Like, minus 160 now, which is kind of tough.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, we can leave that. And the only one that I would have left is Royals first 5, which I'm sure nobody wants to bet.
All right. Let's pivot to college football then, Javon. You want to take some of these plays?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you want to take? I mean, I got Purdue and UVA spreads. Any qualms?
I'm down with Purdue for sure. I would personally rather take the over than UVA.
Okay.
But I mean, that move.
I
mean, we don't have many options. So, I mean, those both could go in there.
Yeah. Purdue plus 6.5. Although it is 6 most places, maybe. Let me check the lines here, folks. Yeah, it's mainly 6.
6.
Purdue plus 6. We've got UVA over with NC State. Over 48. And yeah, I mean, I'd be down to put the freaking UVA. Oh, I cannot believe I'm saying this. I'd be down to put UVA in their spread as well. Oh,
Yeah, we can do that.
But this game just means so much for them, man. They're going to be playing their freaking hearts out for their old teammates. My goodness. Okay. I think we put them in there.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
UVA plus 7.5. I believe that's what we're chilling at right now. All right, right now we got Pitt Cincy over 9.5. We got Purdue plus 6. NC State UVA over 48. UVA plus 7.5. Did we put the Yankees ML in there to make this a 5-piece?
I mean, we could put the troops in there.
Air Force.
Yeah.
Do you want to pair their ML with something?
We could do that. What would we pair it with?
Well, if we do that, it's probably going to win, remember? Because people will go nuts for parlay. But we could go like Tigers ML and Air Force ML.
Ooh, we could do that.
Like, what's your favorite, juicier play today?
I mean, yeah, it would probably have to be the Tigers.
Or it could be Atlanta.
Could be Atlanta. I mean, if we're going to do two-piece, I mean, Atlanta Tigers is not a bad one to do. For just want to stick to that.
No.
I'm
This
just
is to
saying.
get Air Force in there.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if we were to take the one that was probably the most green, that would probably be the one that's the most green. But
all right. Why don't we put Kansas City first 5 in there for the trophies?
We can do that. We can do that.
W's. All right, chat. 5 plays, 5 winners. We're on the poll here for about 4 minutes. Pitt Cincy over 9.5. Purdue plus 6. NC State UVA over 48. UVA plus 7.5. And Royals first 5 ML. 5 plays, 5 winners. Get your votes in. The poll is up in the Twitch chat. Hurry up. Go. Hurry up. Get your votes in. You got 4 minutes. Get them in. Hurry up. Get your votes in. All right, I'm taking Purdue, although I like a lot of these plays. I'm going to be on a lot of these myself.
Yeah. Got to sprinkle a bunch today.
Sure. All right, and chat, we will craft up a college football squad ride for Saturday, and we could start piecing together those teams right now, Javon. What squad ride plays would you like to put in for college football? Give me your 2 favorite plays of Saturday.
2 favorite plays. I mean, number 1 is definitely Cal. Not really remotely close there.
Okay, we'll put that in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to do it. Got to glue them down. They're like the Reds, but potentially better. I'd say them and probably Baylor, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Plus 14.5 now it is.
I'm down for that. It's moving our way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. W's, Cal and Baylor. What about Oregon?
You know that's going to win.
Is it going to win?
Yes, it's going to win. People are going to make it win, whether they want it to win or not.
Okay, fine. We'll leave it out. You guys are no fun. You ruin everything. Come on. Why we squad ride baseball when we have college football? Well, every vote counts, my man. This is a democracy. Get your vote in.
Yeah.
We got people in here who probably prefer baseball. All right. And W Clubby for dropping a follow. Appreciate that. But Javon, maybe we go. I don't know. Maybe we go a little Utah -6 action.
Down for that.
Are you worried about the line moving though?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but we can adjust it because I don't think it's going to move any further up. I think it's only going to move down if Cam Rising isn't actually playing. So, like, we can adjust it if necessary. I'm not going to lock it in until news is final, and I would advise everybody else to do the same.
Okay. Well, the game's not too late tomorrow, and I am seeing Utah at 5.5 right now.
Yeah, I would assume he's going to be back. And it's probably – I mean, I would assume the news is going to come out sometime soon.
Okay. We'll lock in Utah. What about Michigan State?
That one's
Plus
nasty.
7.5.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Against the Terps, the ultimate buy low, sell high spot. One of my favorite plays of the weekend. Are you down to put that in there?
No issues at all. That one is gross.
W's.
No, that line stinks.
What else, Javon? What else do we need in here? Right now, we've got Cal, Baylor, Utah, Michigan State. We got Pitt and Cincy winning the squad ride over for today, over 9.5, folks. So we're rooting for runs in Cincinnati tonight. W's. Andrew Abbott has dead arm. That's a squad ride for today. But let's craft up this college geyser. Cal, Baylor, Utah, Michigan State. What else do you want to put in there? We could put Clemson in there. We could put Georgia Tech in there. We could put the under in SMU TCU in there. Louisville, Boston College over.
Ooh, I do like that over. Honestly, that would probably be my favorite that we don't have in there.
Louisville, Boston College over 55.
Yeah, I think there's a very high chance that Louisville puts up like 40, which pains me to say because obviously I'm rooting for Boston College in the game, but
okay.
Yeah, Budman knows. Budman knows ball.
I don't blame Budman. I don't blame him one bit. All right, chat. 5 plays, 5 winners for the college football Saturday squad ride. Cal plus 20.5, Baylor plus 14.5, Utah minus 5.5, MSU plus 7.5, and Louisville Boston College car flip system play over 55. People forget
car flip system plays.
People forget about the car flip of 2023. That will go down in history as one of the most team player moves I've ever seen, and they've earned my vote.
100%.
All right. Chat, get your votes in. All jokes aside, please vote for the play you like the best. This is the sharpest community, the sharpest chat out there on the universe. I stand by it. Get your votes in. We got our mojo back after a squad ride dub last night. We're going to cash the over in Cincinnati tonight for another squad ride. We're going to make it 3-0 on the weekend for Saturday college football squad ride, which we're voting for right now. And then we've got an NFL squad ride. We'll put a poll up on the BTL Twitter for on Sunday morning. So make sure you guys don't forget about that. Also, I will be at the PLL Championship this Sunday. So if anybody's in Philly and wants to come vibe, if you find me, I'll buy you a beer for the PLL Championship. Archers versus Water Dogs, the 2 best teams in the PLL. We get them on Championship Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Put it on one of your TVs on the sides with NFL going on. You'll keep Red Zone Scott Hansen on one, and then you put the PLL on the other. It's literally on ABC at 3 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be a show. Javon, we watched them play actually down in Dallas a couple months ago, and they had 37 goals in that game. It was action-packed.
Yeah, that was
probably the best
fire.
game I'd recommend people watching if they're not big PLL guys. So
that was the first. That was the first weekend I had been to like PLL in person, and that game was. I mean, obviously, I'm rooting for the Archers now, and that was then too. But that was an absolutely electric game.
100%, and I'm excited to be sweating that one out on the sidelines. You guys know where my coins are going to reside. Give me the Archers, the best defense in the league, the best overall team in the league. They've got chemistry like no other. The Water Dogs are the reigning champs. The line flipped. The Archers are now a favorite on most books. Lay it with them. They win this game. Give me the ML. And also, I would not mind a square over as well. These teams are going to be scoring.
It's going to be an electric championship. Kind of excited. Excited to keep tabs on that one during NFL Sunday.
100%. Please check that game out. 3 p.m. Eastern, chat. It's going to be electric. I promise I wouldn't be gassing it up this much if it wasn't going to be a banger of a game. If you like sports, you will enjoy this, and it's on ABC at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay? BTL squad ride for the weekend. College football chat. Hurry up. You got about 10 seconds. Get your votes in. Hurry up. Go. Hurry up.
I'm surprised Baylor didn't get as much love as I thought it would.
Baylor might be free.
Interesting.
Yep. Baylor might be a free play. Guys, we have 500 people in here, and we don't even have 100 votes total. What are we doing? Get your votes in. Hurry up. Oh, it's too late. Thank God, because we got our play that we wanted. Cal plus 20.5. Give me the Bears, Javon. Yes.
Nasty.
That's what I'm talking about. Dubs. We're going Cal plus 20.5 tomorrow, folks. Tonight, we're going Pitt and Cincy over 9.5. There's going to be runs galore at the Great American Small Park tonight. And Javon, we've got plenty of college football tonight as well. Chat, if you guys need our plays, they're right here below. Our best bets. Make sure you tap in, check it out. And if you're not using Pickett already, please download Pickett so you can start tracking your bets and not losing all your coins. And if you're going to the game this weekend, download SeatGeek, use promo code BOOKIT to get $20 off your purchase. If you guys are going to the PLL Championship in Philly to meet up with me, I'll buy you beers, get your tickets on SeatGeek. Promo code BOOKIT for $20 off. W's.
There you go. We also have a sneak surprise lab stream tonight in a couple hours.
No
We're
way.
Gonna get in the CFB lab, especially in the Prize Picks lab. We'll be going over some props and some more plays for the weekend too.
Sneak stream from Javon.
Sneak stream, 7 Eastern.
The lab's getting fired up.
It's getting fired up.
W's. What time? 7 Eastern?
7 Eastern.
Let's go, W's. Let's fucking go, chat. You guys get to sweat out some games tonight with Javon, and you get to find some winners for tonight and the weekend slate. That is huge. Nothing like some sneak meat, huh?
Sneak meat. There we go. There also another surprise. There might be a college football meat sheet out when you wake up in the morning too. Might be changing the game.
There's no fucking way you're dropping that bomb on us at the end of the app.
Little bomb. We've been lacking on the
football meat sheet.
Yeah, college football meat sheet. Switch it up. We got some new numbers we're running. It's been lacking in MLB because we're end of the season and there's not really all that much to go off of. College football, we got the pack in.
Let's go, chat. W streamers, W Javon. He'll take you through some games for the weekend tonight, 7 Eastern on the Book It Sports Twitch channel. You firing it up on here?
Yep, 100%.
W's. Love it. Chat, thanks for sticking around this long. It's been over 2 hours. You guys are the best. I'm not kidding when I say BTL Fridays are the best days. We just went over all the plays for the weekends and found some nukes for tonight as well. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. All right, Mikey's going to be going down to LSU for the game tomorrow versus Arkansas, so make sure you guys stay tapped in for that and that content. And I'll be in Philly on Sunday for the PLL Championship. It's Archer's ML. I'll see you guys at the counter, and we'll catch you guys next week. Same time, same place. We'll be seeing.
We will.
Peace. It's not letting me end the stream. So if somebody else wants to try, feel free.
I can try.